Chapter 1673. The power of the god-destroying spatial array was astonishing. Falling into it was almost certain death. With Yang Wu as the scapegoat, everyone's chances of survival increased a little. If not for the Black Walk, they would have been completely finished. The one who ambushed Yang Wu and his group was Meng Jun from the Dark Elixir Palace. He led a group of experts to surround and kill them. He wanted to capture Yang Wu alive and seize Yang Wu's alchemy furnace inheritance. In their group, besides Meng Jun, who was the strongest, there was also a high-level divine array master, Zhao Zhen, and a top expert who was no weaker than Meng Jun. His name was Wang Banqiao. The three of them were the main force of the Dark Elixir Palace. There were also 15 Divine Realm experts, each of whom was no weaker than a mid-level Divine Realm expert. It was obvious that they wanted to kill Yang Wu and his group. At this moment, Wang Banqiao was dealing with Zhang Beishi, who had broken through the Divine Array. He tried his best to kill him and not let him escape. Meng Jun, Zhao Zhen, and the other Divine Realm experts suppressed Yang Wu and his group at the same time. Their main goal was to kill Di Bei and his group and capture Yang Wu alive. The Divine Array has been here for a long time. That Black Walk is a true divine weapon. We have to break it, Zhao Zhen shouted. This person was short and had a mustache that looked like eyebrows. Divine Qi flowed all over his body. He controlled the formation sealing bead and sealed the area. As long as Yang Wu and his group couldn't break the array, they didn't need to do anything. They could just use the array's power to kill Yang Wu and his group. Let's just exhaust them to death, Meng Jun said coldly. They have a lot of people. It won't be easy to exhaust them to death. We have to add something else, Zhao Zhen said. Go ahead. Give me a true divine weapon. I'll control it and kill them. Okay. This is the heaven-hating ring. It's a true divine weapon that I invited. Give it a try. The Heaven's Resentment Ring was a divine weapon that was comparable to the Dark Pill Palace. The circular ring had sharp teeth. Ordinary divine weapons would shatter at the slightest touch from these teeth. If a top-notch deity realm expert had a true divine weapon, he would be almost invincible in the deity realm. Furthermore, if a high-level divine array master had a true divine weapon as a killing formation weapon, he would be like a tiger that had grown wings. He might even be able to kill a true god. After Zhao Zhen controlled the hateful sky ring, he smiled and said, "This time, we can slaughter them like chickens and dogs." In the next moment, the heaven-hating ring was controlled by him and flew into the god-slaying formation. It passed through space and slashed at the black pot. Bang! The heaven-hating ring could go up into the sky and down into the ground. It was also very destructive. When it landed on the Black Walk, it instantly made a deafening sound. It scared the creatures under the Black Walk. A crack actually appeared on Black Pot's defensive barrier, and the sharp energy almost penetrated into them. The Black Pot's rebounding power failed to reflect the Heaven's Resentment Ring's attack. Not good. They have also used the true divine weapon. In this formation, we won't be able to get any benefit. We will be killed. Qian Duo shouted. Another female alchemist started crying. I don't want to die. I don't want to die here. Who can save me? This female alchemist had also passed the Outer Sect Disciple examination recently. She could go to the main hall. There were also a few Outer Sect disciples. They were still very young. As long as they worked hard, they might be able to become Inner Sect disciples. They were the seedlings that Di Bei had found. If they were all killed here, it would be a great loss to the alchemists of Luo State. After all, these young alchemists represented Luo State's reputation. Guardian Long, take my divine weapon and kill them. Qian Duo did not dare to think too much. He quickly gave the short dagger to a top-notch deity realm expert beside him so that he would be more confident. Long Kuan was the strongest guardian beside Qian Duo. After he received the short dagger, he activated it without hesitation. The short dagger turned into a stream of light and collided with the heaven-hating ring. The short dagger was sent flying by the heaven-hating ring. The heaven-hating ring was supported by the divine array. It was natural that it had the upper hand. You guys can struggle a little more. Otherwise, you won't have another chance. Zhao Zhen laughed proudly. Damn it. The array is too powerful. It's hard to block it, Long Kuan shouted. Now gather all your strength and charge out with the black pot, Di Bei ordered. The living beings did not dare to hold back. They poured their strength into the black pot to increase its defensive power. The heaven-hating ring struck the array again and again. As its power seeped in, 2 young alchemists with average strength were killed. In addition, 2 other deity realm experts were severely injured. They were wearing divine armor, but they could not withstand it. Quick, think of a way. Qian Duo was extremely anxious. Yang Wu was also very anxious. He needed someone to control the black pot. He wanted to kill his way out. Even if the array outside was densely packed, he wanted to give it a try. However, he needed someone to cover him so that he could charge out. Young master, I can also help, Little Man said from the side. She pulled out a heavy hammer. This heavy hammer didn't look very special, but after she poured her power into it, a series of astonishing patterns appeared in an instant. Those patterns were actually natural divine chains intertwined together. This was an innate true divine weapon. Yang Wu's eyes lit up. He said to Di Bei, Steward Di, how about you protect me with the hammer and break the array? Are you confident? Di Bei asked. If we give it a try, we might be able to survive. Otherwise, we will die. Yang Wu replied. At this moment, Zhao Zhen's voice sounded from outside the array. Quickly, put away your divine weapon. We can still consider giving you a way out. You just need Yang Wu to come with us. As expected, they are here for you. You've killed us. The female alchemist pointed at Yang Wu and cried. How dare you scold the young master? Do you believe that I will throw you out to die? Little Man said hatefully to the female alchemist. How dare you sneak attack us? When the Medicine God Palace Lord finds out, you will all die. Di Bei replied to Zhao Zhen. I am from the Qian family. If you know what's good for you, stop attacking. Otherwise, your ancestors will be in trouble. Qian Duo shouted. At this point, they no longer had anything to worry about. If they did not bring themselves out of the house, they might really die. I didn't expect the Qian family to be here. How troublesome. Meng Jun raised his eyebrows. At this point, there is no turning back. Everyone, let's work harder and kill them. Zhao Zhen said sternly. He and the other immortal state experts in different array cores continued to attack. They continuously attacked the black pot. They had to kill the people in front of them as quickly as possible. The hateful heaven ring attacked crazily. If the black pot was not an innate true god weapon, they would not have been able to withstand it. Don't hesitate. Protect me. I will break their array formation. Yang Wu grabbed Xiaoman's hammer and threw it to Zhaimen. He then said to the others, all of you protect the black pot together, don't hold back at all, or we'll all die together. Okay. Be careful. Di Bei received the hammer, and then he passed it to another expert at the Godrank realm by his side. Compared to him, this expert was even stronger. Come. Yang Wu's body was covered with power. He even put on a godly armor. He held the Yu Yen True God Spear and was ready to rush out at any time. Kill. The divine realm expert of the Medicine God Palace raised his heavy hammer and roared angrily. He unleashed his most powerful combat strength and swung his hammer in one direction. Majestic divine power crushed out, causing the power of the god-destroying array to disperse. Pung! A vacuum was created in that direction. Yang Wu turned into a gust of wind and rushed out of the black pot. Xiao Man cried out involuntarily, Young master, be careful. Boss, be careful. Hua Shensi also shouted. At the same time, he also tore apart a true god-level divine decree to help Yang Wu. A true god will clone appeared and could block it for a bit. Unfortunately, the opponent had the heaven-hating ring. It spun in the air and cut the true god will clone in half. Yang Wu also took advantage of this moment to stare at the immortal state expert controlling the array. The distance was not too far nor too close. How to kill him in one blow was definitely the key. The Yu Yen True God Spear is sealed. Even if I pour in the power of the immortal foundation, I can only use the power of a top-tier godly weapon or a sliver of the True God Spear's power. It is not enough to kill him from so far away. I can only use the divine weapon Electric Fork. Yang Wu thought to himself. He finally activated the other hidden godly weapon. Yang Wu did not know what level the divine weapon Electric Fork was, but it definitely surpassed ordinary godly weapons. It was above the Big Dipper sword. Perhaps it was a true god weapon, and among the true god weapons, it was a top-tier existence. It had been nurtured in his heavenly thunderbone and could control the power of thunder and lightning. Yang Wu used the power of the heavenly thunderbone and even the power of the immortal foundation. He poured it into the divine weapon Electric Fork. The divine weapon Electric Fork appeared in his hand. He looked up to the sky and shouted, "Electric Fork, help me break the array." Yang Wu's soul eye's power increased greatly. He saw through the layers of space and locked onto the weak point of the person in front of him. He then used a thunderous attack. A bolt of lightning turned into a fork and forcefully broke through the power of the array. It rushed towards that person. Not only that, but outside the array, the power of thunder and lightning was born. It directly landed on the electric fork and increased its power. The person in front of Yang Wu was a member of the array. He was constantly paying attention to everything in the array. When Yang Wu suddenly attacked, he did not hesitate to use his power to kill Yang Wu. Just a final struggle. That person sneered. He formed a seal with his hands and controlled the array power to kill Yang Wu. However, the power of the electric fork was too domineering. The array power he controlled was unable to stop the electric fork. The power of the electric fork was like a ferocious thunder dragon. It directly smashed the array power and covered that person with its claws and fangs. When that person reacted, the power of the electric fork was already very close to him. No! That person wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Bang! A mid-stage Immortal Realm expert exploded on the spot. His body was smashed into pieces. God blood splattered everywhere. His soul disappeared and he was completely dead. A crack appeared in the spatial god-destroying array. Chapter 1674. The god-destroying spatial array needed many people to maintain it. Otherwise, there would be no way to provide the god-destroying spatial array with an endless supply of energy. Then, there would be no way to trap the living beings in the god-destroying spatial array. After all, this was a mobile god-destroying spatial array. It was not like other arrays that had already been set up in a certain location. As long as the array core still had energy, it would be able to kill the enemy. Now, one corner of the god-destroying spatial array had been torn apart by Yang Wu's electric fork. The person guarding the array core had already been killed. The entire god-destroying spatial array had a huge flaw. With one corner broken, the power of the other areas had been reduced by half. Yang Wu had successfully broken through the array. However, he had also been attacked by the power of the array from other directions. The black tortoise battle armor on his body could not withstand such a powerful attack. The godly armor on his body had also been shattered. The innermost Emperor Jade battle armor had suffered the least amount of damage. However, it had still been shattered. At this moment, he felt that he was about to die. The power of the spatial array was too terrifying. If his physical body hadn't been tempered and refined repeatedly to become even stronger, he might have been smashed into smithereens by this wave of attacks. This was the terrifying power of the god-destroying spatial array. Success! Let's kill our way out, Debay said excitedly. Kill! Kill all these bastards! Qian Duoduo also shouted. He had rarely encountered such a dangerous situation. This time, he could not help but want revenge. Beside him, Long Kuan controlled the true god weapon dagger again and attacked Zhao Zhen in the sky. Even if Zhao Zhen had the hateful heaven ring, he was not afraid anymore. In addition, Little Man also summoned a few powerful ferocious beasts and entered battle mode. She shouted, "Follow me to save young master." The little white dog in her arms instantly transformed. The little white dog was a heavenly dog with an extremely pure bloodline. It was the highest level of existence among the canine species. Woof, woof! The little white dog barked. It brought Little Man and rushed towards Yang Wu. The other ferocious beasts stood guard. Qi Jin cried out. He held the true god feather plume and turned into a sun. He spread his wings and rushed out. His target was also Yang Wu's location. They were more concerned about Yang Wu's life and death. They didn't care about anything else. Di Bei protected the disciples and shouted to the people around him, "Go and help Zhang Bei. You must find out who they are and teach them an unforgettable lesson." Yes. The person beside Di Bei responded and flew out at the same time. There were many alchemists in the Divine Medicine Hall, especially high-level alchemists. Many cultivators were willing to become alchemist protectors for the sake of elixirs. Therefore, there were many protectors around Di Bei. Huoshensi was not idle either. He had successfully broken through to the Jade Moon realm. He wanted to become a divine alchemist in the Medicine God Palace and become a core disciple in one fell swoop. His battle prowess was also extraordinary. With his protectors joining the battle, it was enough to turn the situation around. Would the people of the Hidden Pill Palace give up just like that? Damn it, they broke the formation. It's too late to fix it now. Meng Jun is waiting for you to make a move. Zhao Zhen continued to control the broken formation to block the people present, not letting them rush out so quickly. At the same time, he asked Meng Jun for help. Such a big formation, and you only managed to kill a few small fries. You are too useless. Wait for me to take them down. After Meng Jun shouted, he took out a blood flag. This blood flag was extremely broken, but it contained an extremely dense blood qi. There were also the howls of souls. It was as if an ancient battlefield had appeared in front of them. Ancient war flag. This was not a complete true god weapon, but it had power that was not inferior to any true god weapon. This was because the blood on the blood flag not only contained the blood of god realm creatures, but also the blood of many true god realm creatures. The terrifying baleful blood qi could create a purgatory. After the war flag was waved, the space turned into a blood-red battlefield. The creatures who came out of the divine formation felt as if they had been transferred to another battlefield. Countless fighting souls entangled them. Corpses fell in pools of blood and many broken limbs. It was an extremely ferocious scene. A sense of fear rose in the hearts of those who came out of the divine formation. If it was just an ordinary battlefield, they would not be afraid. They saw that the dead creatures on the ground were all God Realm experts. There were even true God Realm experts. They could not help but be afraid. The blood qi continued to enter their divine formation. Their souls were filled with fear and they almost lost their ability to fight. Meng Jun descended from the sky and directly waved his overbearing fist, attacking the creatures below. When his fist landed, it instantly split into 20 to 30 different forces, landing on the creatures present at the same time. He wanted to kill them all in one fell swoop. A few of the weaker creatures were directly smashed into pieces by his fist. Some people barely managed to block it, but they were also seriously injured. There were only a few people who could resist it. The high-level God Realm expert who was holding the little man's heavy hammer swung it and attacked. This person was called Xiao Fine. Although his cultivation level was not as high as Zhang Beishir's, his combat power was not too far off. Especially with the innate true god's heavy hammer, his confidence skyrocketed. He swung the heavy hammer and a majestic hammer force swept up. It broke through the influence of the war flag and attacked Meng Jun. Xiao Fine could not fully control the heavy hammer. It was the little man's weapon. He could only use a trace of the true god weapon's power. To him, it was enough to challenge Meng Jun. With Xiao Fine blocking Meng Jun, the others could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Kill them. After Zhao Zhen was affected by Long Kuan, he could not repair the formation. He could only abandon the formation and enter a state of full confrontation. They had already gained the upper hand and were still very confident of winning. However, their target was Yang Wu. They did not want to waste time on others. The God Realm experts guarding outside the formation pounced on Yang Wu at the same time. Yang Wu was seriously injured, but he did not die. He refined the immortal liquid and quickly recovered from his injuries. He still held the electric fork in his hand. Facing the God Realm experts who were attacking him, he did not retreat. Instead, he charged forward and shouted crazily, "I'll let you all have a taste of being struck by lightning." In the next moment, he activated the electric fork again. He also activated the Black Demon Lightning Orb and the Heavenly Lightning Bone. Suddenly, the sky was covered by dark clouds. Bolts of lightning spread out like dragons and snakes. In addition, a magnetic field was released from the electric fork. It enveloped all of them and collided with their attacks, causing a huge commotion. These were all God Realm experts. Even under the suppression of the God Realm's aura, the battle was still very intense. After Yang Wu came to the God Realm, he had never used his lightning talent. Now that he was facing a strong enemy, he could no longer hide it and completely burst out. The electric fork magnetic field fused with the divine lightning that was attracted and became incomparably violent. The terrifying and raging power shocked the God Realm experts who were attacking Yang Wu. This kid can still attract divine lightning. Quickly stop him. So what if it's divine lightning? Let's work together to destroy him. He can't cause any trouble. Everyone, be careful. We have to capture him alive. These God Realm experts did not think that Yang Wu could defeat all of them by himself. However, when they came into contact with the lightning power, their expressions changed drastically. Every single strand of these lightning energies could threaten a high-level deity realm expert, and even a top-rate deity realm expert had to retreat. One had to know that this was a combination of the Black Demon Lightning Orb, the Heavenly Lightning Bone, the Electric Fork talent, and the power of the Divine Weapon. When combined together, the lethality was extremely shocking. Yang Wu was an ultimate martial sage who could fight with top-level God Realm experts. No, he could already be called a martial god. Although this identity had not been verified, the strength that he displayed was unquestionable. Yang Wu controlled the electric fork magnetic field and waved the divine weapon electric fork. Wherever it went, there were God Realm experts who exploded on the spot. The divine armor on their bodies could not withstand a single blow. After their divine bodies were shattered, their divine souls could not escape. The merciless electric fork talent directly destroyed their divine souls. Ah! His power is too terrifying. Run, this is a true god-level weapon. How can we fight? Isn't he about to die? Why does he still have such terrifying combat power? After the God Realm experts were killed by Yang Wu, they panicked. No matter what they did, they could not escape. The power of the divine weapon electric fork was too great. Wherever it went, there were people who died. In a few blinks of an eye, the few God Realm experts who surrounded Yang Wu were all killed. Qi Jin and Little Man wanted to help, but in the end, it was a wasted trip. They did not dare to get close. The electric fork magnetic field was too powerful, and they were afraid that they would be affected. At the same time, they could vaguely see the merciless lightning energy killing the God Realm experts. Go and deal with the others, Yang Wu said faintly after putting away the electric fork magnetic field. At this time, his injuries had mostly recovered. This was the effect of the immortal liquid. In other directions, Wang Banqiao and Zhang Beishi were still fighting. Wang Banqiao did not want to fight to the death with Zhang Beishi. It was enough to stall him. Zhao Zhen was fighting Long Kuan. Both of them had true god-level weapons. It was a fight to the death. Meng Jun had the upper hand against Xiao Fan. Meng Jun was a top-level god realm expert. He held the ancient war flag and used it as a weapon to block Xiao Fan's hammer. He was also forcing Xiao Fan to retreat. The biggest reason was that Xiao Fan could not activate the power of the hammer. If he could, Meng Jun would not be able to do so. This true god-level weapon is mine. You are not worthy of it. Meng Jun took a fancy to the hammer. He pressed the ancient war flag down and wrapped it around the hammer. Then, he punched Xiao Fan with his other hand. Xiao Fan did not die so easily. Just as he was escaping, Meng Jun waved the ancient war flag again. A terrifying murderous aura wrapped around him and corroded him into a pool of blood in an instant. With this weapon, I, Meng Jun, will be like a tiger with wings. Ha ha! Meng Jun said excitedly. Is it your turn to touch my maid's weapon? Chapter 1675. After Yang Wu killed a few God Realm elites, he wanted to save Xiao Fan from the Medicine God Palace. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it in time. He could only watch Xiao Fan get killed. Meng Jun licked his lips and looked at Yang Wu with a ferocious look in his eyes. I haven't come looking for you, but you've come looking for me. Hurry up and leave with me. Perhaps I can give you a way out. If you dare to say no, you'll end up like that fellow just now. He held the battle flag in one hand and the hammer in the other. His body was full of murderous aura. His battle aura was high. He was an extremely powerful God Realm elite. Yang Wu waved his hand at Qi Jin and the little man. He said, You two back off. Bring me the pot. The next moment, the black pot quickly flew toward Yang Wu. Yang Wu held the god weapon electric fork in one hand and the black pot in the other. His battle aura was strong. There was a real dragon and black tortoise floating behind him. He looked like an Einherjar. You are not weak. It is a shame that your opponent is me. Your battle will end here, Meng Jun shouted. Shouted Meng Jun. He waved his banner and wrapped it around Yang Wu. The intense purgatory battlefield reappeared. Terrifying baleful qi swept over. Even a peak godhood expert couldn't block it. Yang Wu was not afraid. He waved the god weapon electric fork again to welcome the attack. Electric morning glow. A fierce thunder power flashed. It was like a morning glow. It created a very scary weird scene. It went toward the power of the battle flag. The thunder power was like a dragon. It cleared out the murderous aura. The thunder power formed an electric fork that went toward Meng Jun. Meng Jun continued to wave the big flag. He swept away the electric forks. He used the hammer to hit Yang Wu's head. I am going to break your head, Meng Jun shouted with great power. He held the true divinity-level hammer in his hand, his heart filled with excitement. He wished he could immediately use Yang Wu as a blood sacrifice. This time, the Heaven's Spite Ring was one of the treasures of the Hidden Pill Palace. It was not his personal possession, and the ancient war flag in his hand was indeed something he had obtained by chance. However, it could only be regarded as a secret treasure, not a true divine weapon. Now that he had the hammer, he felt invincible. At this moment, the little man suddenly shouted, Hammer, come back here. The hammer in Meng Jun's hand seemed to have a mind of its own. When it heard the little man's call, it immediately broke free from Meng Jun's hand. Meng Jun was dumbfounded. He had just poured his power into the heavy hammer, so how did it escape his control? Kill! Yang Wu grasped the opportunity of imminent peril and waved the trident again. The power in his dantian was boiling, and the power of his immortal root was drawn out once more. Energy surged from all directions as he unleashed a new move. The second move of the trident, rapid electric light. A bolt of lightning flashed by like an eternal light. It appeared for a moment and became eternal. It was extremely fast, and before anyone could react, it had completely passed. Meng Jun had never dreamed that his life would end just like that. His head was hit by the lightning and exploded on the spot. Even his soul could not escape. Even if he was a top immortal state being, he could not escape from Yang Wu's fatal attack. After Yang Wu poured the power of his immortal root into it, the trident seemed to have changed into another weapon. Its power was shocking, even stronger than the Yu Yen True God Spear. He felt a trace of immortal power from it. He wondered if the trident was an immortal weapon. At this moment, he did not have time to think so much. The battle was still ongoing. However, when he came back to his senses, it was already the end. When Meng Jun's life force disappeared, Zhao Zhen, Wang Banqiao, and the others all felt it. Meng Jun was the strongest person in their group. Now that he had been killed, they started to panic. They glanced at Yang Wu, who had seized the Meng army's ancient war flag, and were terrified of him like a tiger. "Run!" they cried out. They were extremely prepared, and wanted to kill Di Bei's group in one fell swoop. They wanted to capture Yang Wu alive, but this was the result. They were in complete despair. They had brought out a divine formation and a true god weapon, but they still returned without any result. What reason did they have not to face this failure? If they didn't run now, they might not even be able to keep their lives. They had to go back and report. Yang Wu's power was too frightening. He had so many trump cards that only true gods could deal with him. "Come and go as you wish, how can it be so easy?" Yang Wu's murderous intent was extremely heavy. After he shouted, he grabbed the battle flag and shuttled through the void. He waved the flag, and a dense blood evil chi surged out. The power of this attack was much stronger than that of Meng Jun. Behind him, a few immortal realm beings who were not as fast as Zhao Zhen and Wang Banqiao were swept by the blood energy. Their divine bodies and souls were corroded on the spot. Yang Wu could activate the war flag's power because he had the blood energy and the power of the immortal foundation. With these two powers, it was easier for him to hold the war flag. "Don't chase a cornered enemy," Di Bei shouted from behind. Yang Wu really did not chase after him. His last attack was just to regain some face and prevent others from thinking that he was easy to bully. Moreover, using the electric fork with all his strength had consumed a lot of energy. He might not be able to get away with it even if he chased after them. Yang Wu heaved a sigh of relief and turned back. He saw that close to 10 people were missing and felt rather guilty. The people from the Dark Elixir Palace came for him. The others were just innocently implicated. "Sorry, I dragged you guys into this." Yang Wu apologized. If apologizing is useful. The outer sect female disciple trembled and shouted at Yang Wu. Before she could finish, D-Men interrupted her and said, "Shut up, you have no right to speak here." The female disciple's eyes narrowed. She then lowered her head and did not dare to say another word. She was only an outer sect disciple. In her original place, she might be arrogant because of her identity as a saint alchemist. However, her identity was the lowest here. She had no right to speak. The Dark Elixir Palace has their eyes on your Pill Furnace secret realm inheritance. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. Let's continue on our way. When we reach the Medicine God continent, they won't even dare to fart. Moreover, this matter will not be settled so easily. D-Men said faintly. In the immortal realm, it was common for forces to kill each other. It was not that people from large forces could do whatever they wanted. There would also be enemies, and there would also be people who would draw their blades and kill people for benefits. Not only did Yang Wu have a true divine weapon, he also had the inheritance of a secret realm. He was like a moving treasure trove. It was normal for anyone to not be able to resist snatching it. Yang Wu did not say much. This matter was caused by him, but it did not mean that he had to give an explanation to the people here. If he had not risked his life to kill his way out, they would have all died. For the rest of their journey, They were not disturbed by other forces and successfully arrived at the Medicine God continent. The Medicine God continent was located in the southern part of the Immortal Realm. It was much wider than many other provinces. Fire veins crisscrossed the land, containing incomparably dense fire-profound chi. In addition, there were many ancient mountain ranges with countless heavenly and earthly treasures. It was the favorite place for alchemists to stay. At the same time, a large number of territories were occupied by other races. There were not many places owned by the human race. After Yang Wu stepped into the Medicine God continent, his mood was inexplicably much more relaxed. "I've finally found a place to settle down." Yang Wu sighed with emotion. He was a member of the War Race's Yang family. He should have gone to the War Race state, but he did not do so. In his opinion, the Medicine God Palace was more suitable for him to stay. "After arriving here, no one will dare to be disrespectful to us," Bei said with incomparable confidence. Sure enough, after they entered the territory of the human race, the creatures here saw the alchemist robe on Bei's body and the badge hanging on his chest. They all bowed slightly to show their respect. Yang Wu finally felt the noble status of alchemists in this hot land. After a few more days, they finally arrived at the Medicine God City. This was a huge city, much larger than the Luo Manor city. Waves of medicinal fragrance could be smelled everywhere, and there were many voices shouting non-stop. There were also countless creatures coming and going. The atmosphere was incomparably lively. Little Man cheerfully called out, "This place is really bustling." The little white dog in her arms raised its eyes and said, "The human race's territory is just like this. There's nothing worth making a fuss about." Qian Duo pestered Little Man and said, "Little Man, what gift do you want? I'll buy it for you, okay? Not only are there pills here, there are also many strange things. There are even some ancient ornaments that have extraordinary abilities." The outer sect female disciple called when Qian said beside Qian Duo, "I want it too." During this period of time, after when Qian learned of Qian Duoduo's origin, she attentively stuck to Qian Duoduo's side. Qian Duo didn't know if it was to stimulate Xiaoman, but he also became more enthusiastic towards this woman, not to mention that she was quite good-looking. If I see something good, I'll buy it for you," Qian Duo said perfunctorily. Jaimen opened his mouth and said, "Qian Duo, you don't need to follow us anymore. I'll bring them to the main hall to report." "Of course, but you can only bring a few of them. Little Man is not a member of your Medicine God Palace, so it seems that she can't follow. I'll take her for a stroll around the Medicine God City." Qian Duo glanced at Yang Wu and said. Yang Wu knew that Qian Duo was interested in Little Man, but it was a pity that Qian Duo's temperament was a little bad. He was not a person worth trusting. Once he got tired of playing, he might heartlessly abandon Little Man. "Little Man, come with me," Yang Wu said with certainty. Little Man was an incomparably stubborn person. From the mortal realm to the god realm, she only had her young master in her heart. She completely treated him as a close relative, so he would definitely not abandon her. Yes, I'll follow young master." Little Man nodded happily. "Little Man, are you really not going to come with me?" Qian Duo said in an unfriendly tone. "I won't," Lil Man replied with certainty. "Alright, then we'll meet again." Chapter 1676. Little Man did not take Qian Duoduo's angry departure to heart. He had always been clinging to her. At first, she felt that he was a friend she could make, but when she realized that he wanted to possess her, she was quite resistant. Her heart was completely occupied by her young master. In her heart, her young master was the sky. This kind of feeling had been deeply ingrained since the mountain prison. She had said that one day, she would stand in front of her young master and protect him. Yang Wu did not take Qian Duo to heart. When he arrived at the Medicine God Palace, as long as he became a core disciple of the Medicine God Palace, no matter how strong the power behind Qian Duo was, he would have some concerns. Bei did not want to delay any longer. He brought Yang Wu and the others and rushed directly to the Medicine God Palace's main hall. The main hall of the Medicine God Palace was built on top of an incomparably huge mountain in the center of the city. The area it occupied was incomparably large. It was as if the Medicine God City was built around the main hall of the Medicine God Palace, surrounding and protecting it, reflecting its supreme status. The Medicine God Mountain's Medicine God Palace represented the most powerful force in the Medicine God Province, the most revered force, and the pilgrimage place of countless alchemists. The closer they got to the Medicine God Mountain, the more medicinal fragrance permeated the surroundings. Occasionally, heavenly thunder could be seen falling from the sky, causing quite a commotion. However, the people who came and went turned a blind eye to it, as if they were already accustomed to it. After arriving here, Bei became cautious, and there was a hint of reverence in his eyes. He was a high-level divine apothecary, but he was just an ordinary elder in the Medicine God Palace. Some alchemists rushed out and nodded when they saw Bei. They did not put him in their eyes. When they were about to reach the entrance of the Medicine God Palace, a voice sounded behind them. Men, you actually came back from Luozhou. It seems that you brought back a good seedling. Bei turned around and his expression changed slightly. He immediately replied, Yao Huang, how have you been? It's really a pleasant thing to meet you on the first day back. You don't mean it. Then he added, this time, I won't be leaving after coming back. I wonder if you'll be staying with me? This person's name was Yao Huang. He was an alchemist from another branch hall. He had always been Bei's sworn enemy. His cultivation and strength were not inferior to Bei's. In fact, he was even slightly stronger. The prefecture he was in was also a place where one could often find good seedlings. This time, Yao Huang had brought back many inner disciple seedlings and made a great contribution. He could apply to return to the main hall and didn't need to be sent out anymore. Only in the main hall of the Medicine God Palace could one obtain more inheritances and improve. Otherwise, one would be stuck at the same cultivation realm for the rest of one's life. It would be too difficult to improve. Alchemists were different from martial artists. Martial artists could increase their strength through constant cultivation, but alchemists not only had to study the art of alchemy, they also needed to increase their martial realm. They had to multitask and be able to take care of two things at the same time. Although outer sect elders like them could control a region and had a high status, they still wanted to stay in the main hall. Only then would they have the opportunity to listen to the teachings of true God alchemists. Only then would they be able to improve further. Furthermore, there would be more resources to raise their cultivation realm. However, it was not easy for outer sect elders to return to the main hall. First, they could return after a certain number of years in the outer world. Second, they could return after making contributions and reaching a certain amount of contribution points. Then, they could return earlier. This time, Yao Huang was so confident that he could return because the inner sect disciples he brought back were pretty good. They dug up good seedlings for the Medicine God Palace. This was the contribution of outer sect elders. Whether I stay or not is not something you need to worry about, Bei replied bluntly. Yao Huang looked at Yang Wu's group with disdain. He said, with just these few youngsters, it looks like you are destined to stay outside for another 100 years. Men ignored Yao Huang and led the group forward. When they reached the main hall's gates, they took out their tokens and registered before they could enter the mountain. Men did not have the qualifications to bring them directly into the main hall. He could only bring them to the residence at the foot of the mountain. Yang Wu appreciated the scenery of the Medicine God Mountain along the way. This divine mountain was majestic and was much larger than the mountains he had seen before. There were many courtyards and residences at the foot of the mountain. Many of them were for outer sect disciples to stay and cultivate. There were also some servants who lived below. However, one should not underestimate the people at the foot of the mountain. They had a complicated relationship with the people on the mountain. Men brought Yang Wu's group to a temporary courtyard to settle down. This was a large courtyard for the disciples who came to the Medicine God Palace every month. There were hundreds of rooms and could accommodate many people. You all wait here first. I will go and report the situation. Rest assured and wait for my news. If it is fast, it will take 1 or 2 days. If it is slow, it will take 10 days to half a month. Bei said to Yang Wu's group. After a pause, he reminded them, these are all disciples who are preparing to join the Medicine God Palace. They were carefully selected from various places. Don't get into a conflict with them. If you can endure it, endure it. We alchemists are respected by our alchemy skills. As long as your alchemy skills are strong enough, you will have the final say here. After he finished speaking, he quickly went up the mountain. Originally, Bei brought a total of 9 disciples back. On the way back, 4 of them died, leaving only 5. These 5 disciples were Yang Wu, Huoshensi, Wenqian, Xian Liji, and Mo Dezhuang. Other than Yang Wu and Huoshensi, the other 3 were outer sect disciples. They had all gone through a round of verification in the branch hall. After arriving at the main hall, they still had another chance. If they were outer sect disciples in the branch hall, they could seize this opportunity to strive for the qualifications of inner sect disciples. If they were inner sect disciples, they could not maintain their original standards here and would also be reduced to outer sect disciples. After they became outer sect disciples, if they could not reach the qualifications of inner sect disciples within a certain period of time, they would be directly kicked out of the main hall and sent to other places to do things. Alternatively, they could choose to become medicine attendants here. The so-called medicine attendants were those who stayed by the side of inner sect disciples or elders as attendant. The Medicine God Palace did not keep idle people. Every disciple here could have a room. Yang Wu, Qi Jin, and Little Man could only have one room. Qi Jin could stand guard outside. He could cultivate anywhere. Little Man also wanted to stay outside. She would not occupy Yang Wu's room. Yang Wu pulled Little Man into the room. Lecture, when Qian saw Yang Wu pull Little Man into the room, she rolled her eyes and cursed in her heart. Xian Liji and Mo Dezhuang only smiled, revealing a knowing expression. Which family's servant girls didn't serve the masters of their families? This was not a strange thing. Little Man was pure, but it did not mean she was a child who did not know anything. She had already grown up. Her body's development was incomparably impressive. Anyone who saw her would have a primitive desire to possess her. When Yang Wu brought her into the room, her face instantly turned red. Young master, could it be that he wants me? Little Man's heart raced as she thought to herself. All these years, she only had Yang Wu in her heart. At first, it was because of gratitude that she was incomparably attached to him. But now there was a trace of inexplicable feelings. She had missed him for so many years, and they were in another realm. There were no other madams here. Could she do some embarrassing things with the young master? Yang Wu did not know what Little Man was thinking. He looked at her red face and asked, "What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?" No. Little Man quickly shook her head. "And you go rest on the bed. I'll rest here. Just make do for a few days. After the young master becomes a core disciple, there will definitely be other arrangements. At that time, you won't have to suffer like now," Yang Wu replied. With his current alchemy skills, becoming a core disciple was naturally not a problem. If his performance was even more stunning, would he be able to reach the heavens in a single bound? He did not dare to think too much about it. He also did not know if the Medicine God Palace would be as peaceful as he imagined. "Ah, young master, you don't want to." Little Man heard Yang Wu's words and was at a loss. It was actually different from what she imagined. It was too embarrassing. Could it be that I'm too ugly and the young master doesn't like me? She felt wronged. "What are you thinking about? Go rest." You've been running around for so long. Yang Wu patted little man's head and smiled. Then, he sat on a chair not far away and began to meditate. After coming to the God realm, he was under a lot of pressure. He did not dare to relax at all. Now that he had reached the peak of the first level of the Jade Moon realm, he only needed to work harder to reach the second level of the Jade Moon realm. After breaking through in the Pill Furnace realm, he had a Tao injury. He had refined a large amount of immortal liquid and heaven and earth source chi. He should have been able to break through to a higher realm, but unfortunately, he had been squandering them. In the past few months, he had gone through a series of battles. The accumulation of his strength had increased rapidly. Moreover, after he absorbed the Xian essence of the meteorite, the Regal Nine profound arts absorbed energy at a crazy rate. Even if he did not deliberately absorb energy, large amounts of energy would still enter his body. After reaching this point, Yang Wu did not want to be stuck any longer. He wanted to break through a small realm and increase his battle prowess. Only then would he have the qualifications to fight against those top experts. He did as he said, completely forgetting that little man was here. He increased his absorption of Xian Qi and wanted to break through. Little man felt the majestic energy surging towards her young master. Her face revealed a trace of infatuation. Young master really is the best man in the world. In the past few years, she had traveled to many places with little He. Later, she was brought to the God realm by her master. She had seen many different kinds of creatures. Many of them had revealed a strong desire for her, even wanting to forcefully possess her. She understood the ugly side of these creatures. Now that she was in the same room as her young master, and her young master was simply cultivating with her, she was even more certain that her young master was a good man. If Yang Wu knew that he had been labeled a good man, she wondered how he would feel. Chapter 1677. Medicine God Mountains Medicine God Temple. This was the place with the most alchemists in the God realm. Countless alchemy geniuses gathered there. Every one of them had been carefully selected before they were sent to the Medicine God Temple. Every year, batches of young alchemists would gather here. In the end, they would only be accepted by the Medicine God Temple if they displayed their talent in alchemy. In the temporary courtyard, many young alchemists gathered. They were all quietly waiting for the Medicine God Temple's next round of examination. Every year, there would only be one examination. If they did not seize the opportunity, they would have to wait another year or they would be eliminated. Now, there was about a month before the next examination. Most of the young alchemists who came here were cultivating in seclusion in their rooms. They did their best to increase their strength and improve their alchemy skills. They wanted to be able to amaze the world with a single brilliant feat during the examination. Suddenly, the young alchemists who were cultivating discovered that the surrounding Xian Qi of heaven and earth had been sucked dry. One by one, they were all startled awake. Although they were not as monstrous as pure martial artists, their talent was definitely not weak. The speed at which they absorbed Xian Qi of heaven and earth was definitely not inferior to others. But now, a large amount of Xian Qi of heaven and earth had been sucked dry by someone else. What was left for them was just a thin bit of energy. How could they cultivate? They walked out of the house where they were resting, searching for the person who had absorbed their powers. Hundreds of alchemy geniuses who had gathered from different places came out. Their youthful faces were filled with vigor and pride. Most of them were male alchemists, but there were also a few female alchemists. These people's gazes locked onto a room, revealing looks of surprise. Who is in this room, sucking away all the Xian Qi of heaven and earth around here? Feel it carefully. There is a lot of starlight sprinkling down. He should be breaking through. Even if he's breaking through to the Jade Moon realm, it's impossible to cause such a big commotion. It feels like a top-tier God realm warrior is breaking through. Is he crazy? Breaking through in this kind of environment? Does he really think that no one will disturb him here? These young alchemists discussed one after another, becoming more and more curious about the person in the room. They still did not have the courage to interrupt someone's cultivation. It was a matter of cultivation based on one's own ability. There was no saying who would steal the xian qi of heaven and earth. In Yang Wu's room, Qi Jin glared at the pharmacist in the courtyard. "Master doesn't know how to keep a low profile," he muttered to himself. At this time, Huashensi also came out of his room. He noticed that the commotion was caused by Yang Wu's room. He couldn't help but bitterly smile. No wonder boss is so strong. So he's been cultivating all this time, and his cultivation method is too heaven-defying. The commotion in Yang Wu's room continued for 3 days without stopping. Some people were already very impatient. "Are you done yet? If this goes on, how are we going to cultivate? Is no one going to come out and control us? I want to change places. I don't want to stay here any longer." These young alchemists' tempers were not small. Each and every one of them started shouting. Some even wanted to break into Yang Wu's room, but they were stopped by Qi Jin and Fire God. "Kill anyone who comes close," Qi Jin warned sternly. How strong was the strength that crimson gold emitting! It made these young alchemists not dare to act blindly without thinking. They thought in their hearts, "When he comes out, I want to see what's so special about him." The dozen or so alchemists that Yao Huang brought over were also here. They recognized Qi Jin and knew that the person in the room was definitely the alchemists that Di Bei brought over. One of them said, "Steward Yao told us to take care of those fellows. Isn't it time for us to show them off? We can't cause trouble here, right? Who said we're going to cause trouble? Let's do our best to absorb the energy here and snatch his energy." "I'm afraid that's not enough. We need to create some commotion and stop his energy." "That's easy. I have the Qi gathering divine pearl." After these people discussed for a while, they started to play tricks. They gathered together and crazily circulated their Xian art. They started to snatch energy from Yang Wu. Not only that, they also used a Qi gathering divine pearl to absorb the energy here. The Qi gathering divine pearl was a heavenly pearl. It had the ability to gather Qi. It was one of the divine items that cultivators coveted the most. With it, there was no need to worry about not having enough energy to gather. These dozen or so people, together with the Qi gathering divine pearl, were snatching Yang Wu's energy. It did have some effect. A large portion of the energy was swept towards their location. This time, their location attracted some attention. These people also thought that someone was starting to target Yang Wu. After Yang Wu clearly felt that the energy he was absorbing was weakening, he didn't think too much about it. He had only let go of a little bit of the energy and didn't use his full strength. It's time to break through. These few days were just the process of Yang Wu accumulating energy. Now that he felt the opportunity to break through, he instantly circulated the Regal 9 Profound Arts and released its energy to the maximum. The Regal 9 Profound Arts refined a total of 7 types of Xian essence Qi and fused with a large number of Xian art. It was a cultivation technique that had been upgraded to the true God level. When it was released at full strength, the speed at which it absorbed the energy of heaven and earth became incomparably terrifying. The Xian Qi of heaven and earth and the energy of the stars all surged over like a tide. The energy that the alchemists brought over by Yao Huang used the Qi gathering divine pearl to take away all change directions and continued to fall towards Yang Wu's room. Damn, what's going on? Could it be that a martial god is cultivating in seclusion here? It's definitely a martial god level guy. Otherwise, how could he create such a strange phenomenon? Oh my god, it shouldn't be the guy who took the test with us. With such a commotion, the Medicine God Palace should be alarmed. Indeed, the Medicine God Palace protectors guarding the courtyard at the foot of the mountain sensed the commotion and were shocked. Someone is breaking through in the temporary courtyard? The people who were brought here are all little fellows under 100 years old. Who would have such ability? Should we go and take a look? I'm afraid the palace will pay attention to it. Just pay attention. Absorbing energy to increase one's strength doesn't violate any rules. All of a sudden, the majestic power of the Milky Way poured down from the courtyard. The astonishing phenomenon gave everyone a big fright, especially the dozen or so people who were competing with Yang Wu for energy. They realized that they were like mantises trying to stop a chariot. They were completely incomparable to him. Many people on the Medicine God Mountain gathered their gazes at the temporary courtyard at the same time. They were all moved. Only a top divine realm expert was qualified to cause such a commotion when he broke through. Could it be that such a monstrous young man was hiding in the temporary courtyard? When these powers gathered to a certain extent, they all gushed into the room, and all the anomalies disappeared. In the room, the little man's eyes flashed with infatuation as she muttered, "Young master is so powerful." She had been sleeping with Yang Wu and felt the changes in Yang Wu's body. Her heart was incomparably shocked. She was no longer a little girl who had not seen the world. On the contrary, she had seen many experts. However, there were very few who could compare with her young master, especially among the younger generation. There was absolutely no one who could compare with him. Yang Wu opened his eyes and two beams of light pierced through the air. They were extremely sharp and astonishing. Soon, he withdrew them as if he had done something insignificant. If I meet Di Xian again, I can beat him until his mother can't recognize him, Yang Wu said to himself confidently. Previously, he had been sneak attacked by Di Xian with the Path of the Void, which made him extremely annoyed. Di Xian's strength should not be much stronger than his, but he could successfully sneak attack. It was enough to show that Di Xian's combat strength was not inferior to his, or even slightly stronger. This was also the reason why he was eager to improve his realm. Now that he had improved by one minor realm, his confidence had also increased by one level. Even if he did not use the true divine weapon, he would not be afraid of facing a top-tier divine realm expert. Unless it was a martial god, only then would he feel a little pressure. "Little man, where is your master from? How did she bring you to the divine realm?" Yang Wu looked at the little man seriously and asked. During this period, he had not talked to the little man in detail. This time, he had to ask clearly. Otherwise, he did not know when the little man would go missing, and he would be very worried. "Young master, my master is not human," the little man replied weakly. "Not human?" Yang Wu said in surprise. "Yes, she is a barbarian demon. She brought me from Mount Barbarian God to the divine realm." "What, there is a path to the divine realm from Mount Barbarian God? How is that possible?" Mount Barbarian God was only a divine mountain in the mortal realm. Although he did not directly reach the peak, he did not think that it was a path to the divine realm. "It is from Mount Barbarian God to the divine realm. However, my master also used some other method. It is not something that I can understand," the little man said with certainty. "Then how did you run out to find me?" Yang Wu asked again. "Master did not care about me. After she brought me to the divine realm, she disappeared. I did not want to be cooped up in the clan, so I came out to travel the world. When I saw young master's portrait, I rushed over to find you," the little man said truthfully. Then she said, "Young master, you are not going to chase me away, right? Silly, stay by young master's side and cultivate in the future. Young master will protect you." Yang Wu smiled and scratched the little man's nose. "Young master is so good," the little man said emotionally. After chatting for a while, they walked out of the room. When Yang Wu saw Qi Jin and Fire God guarding his door, he asked Fire God, "Why are you guarding here? Were you waiting for me?" "Boss, you finally came out. I was so anxious," Fire God said. "What is it?" Yang Wu didn't understand. "I don't know how to explain it. Look at them. They were all attracted by you." Fire God pointed at the people in the yard. Yang Wu looked at the hundreds of young people and was confused. Before he could say anything, someone shouted, "This is the guy who affected everyone's cultivation. Teach him a lesson." Chapter 1678. Seeing that the time of the test was approaching, the young alchemists couldn't cultivate in peace. They were all furious. When they saw Yang Wu walk out of his room with a beautiful maid, they were all pissed. Yao Huang's disciples fanned the flames, trying to incite the hostility of the alchemists toward Yang Wu. Many alchemists began to criticize Yang Wu. "What the hell are you doing? Can't you keep a low profile? You're affecting everyone's cultivation. Do you know that? Apologize to us, or we won't let this go. You're doing things with such a beautiful girl in your room, and you can cause such a big commotion. I'm impressed." He must have used some secret technique to gather the xian-qi of heaven and earth. "I don't know what he's up to." The alchemists kept shouting, but none of them dared to attack Yang Wu. It was impossible for someone who could cause such a big commotion to not have a trump card. Yang Wu could roughly understand what they were talking about. He smiled bitterly and cupped his hands towards them. "I'm sorry for causing trouble for everyone." Yang Wu apologized. This time, most of the people were stunned. Anyone with a temper would have retorted. How could they just admit defeat like that? Yang Wu was sincerely apologizing. He was so focused on breaking through that he forgot where he was. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. It wasn't that he was afraid of them, but that he didn't want to cause more trouble. "What a coward," someone muttered. "I dare you to say that again." Huoshensi glared at one of the men and shouted. This man was one of the young alchemists Yao Huang brought. His name was Yuan, and he was also an alchemist who tested the inner disciples. "I told you, you dare to hit me?" Yuan looked at Huoshensi and said. Huoshensi's temper was really bad. He was about to attack Yuan, but Yang Wu stopped him. "There's no need to be angry. Boss, how can you tolerate this?" Huoshensi looked at Yang Wu in confusion. Yang Wu smiled and shook his head. He didn't take this matter to heart. With his strength and identity, was there a need to squabble with these ordinary alchemists? Yes, these prodigies were merely ordinary alchemists in his eyes. He was already a divine alchemist, and not just any divine alchemist. Yang Wu's actions drew a wave of mockery. "I thought you were some kind of strong character, but it turns out that you're just a coward. Isn't that so? Such a person doesn't seem to have much of a future. It's already not bad for him to become an outer sect disciple." Who did we, the outer sect disciples, offend? The few people around Yuan Yi were the most cheerful. They attacked one after another without any fear. "Young master, let me teach them a lesson, okay?" The little man blinked her big eyes and asked Yang Wu. Before Yang Wu could reply, someone else laughed and said, "Little girl, your young master is a coward. Why don't you come and join me?" Just as he finished speaking, a silhouette flew over. Then, a gust of wind blew, and a silhouette was sent flying. Then, a blood-curdling scream rang out, and blood splattered everywhere. It was an extremely dazzling scene. "If you dare to say anything bad about my young master, I'll tear your mouth off." The little man was like a shadow. She stepped on the man's chest and broke his ribs. She shouted in an extremely domineering manner. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect this girl to be so strong and so domineering. She directly stepped on an alchemist. "How dare you?" Yuan Yi shouted at the little man. He then said, "You're just a lowly servant. How dare you hurt an inner sect disciple of the Medicine God Palace? Do you want to die?" "Qi Jin, go and tear his mouth off," Yang Wu said to Qi Jin. "Yes, master," Qi Jin replied. Then, she rushed out and attacked Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi was only half a step away from the heaven-reaching realm. He was able to refine a foretribulation divine elixir, which made him an inner disciple quite extraordinary. Unfortunately, in Qi Jin's eyes, Yuan Yi was just an alchemist that could be easily manipulated. Yuan Yi didn't have time to react. Qi Jin grabbed his collar and slapped him repeatedly. Slap. Yuan Yi didn't have time to react. His face was smashed and his front teeth flew out. Everyone was dumbfounded. They had just called him a coward. Now, he hadn't even done anything. Just a servant girl and his mount had beaten up 2 inner sect disciples. That was ruthless enough. That's enough. Someone shouted. Then, a young man walked out. He was fiddling with a blue flame in his hand. His body emitted an oppressive aura. He looked calmly at Yang Wu, and he had an imposing aura. Unfortunately, this bit of spirit was still too immature in Yang Wu's eyes. He was the best disciple Yao Huang had brought with him. He was supposed to be a core disciple. His name was Shaolingzi. He had an extraordinary background and was very talented in alchemy. Huashensi couldn't stand Shaolingzi's attitude. He glared at him and said, "What are you pretending for? Do you want me to teach you how to behave?" Before Shaolingzi could respond, more elders arrived. One of them shouted, "What are you doing? Are you trying to cause trouble?" The crowd parted to allow the elders to enter. The little man and Qi Jin also released the people who had been slapped. The alchemists present bowed slightly when they saw the elders. The elder in the lead had a 4th Tribulation alchemist badge on his chest. He was an elder with great authority. His name was Chun Binji. He was in charge of the outer court, and his words carried enormous weight. Yuan Yi, whose teeth had been knocked out, hurriedly knelt and said, "Sir, please uphold justice for us. Someone committed a crime here." Chun Binji glanced at Yuan Yi and the other person. He frowned and said, "Which steward brought this disciple here?" Yao Huang immediately stepped forward and said, "Elder Chen, this is a disciple I brought back." "You deal with this," Chun Binji said in a low voice. "Yes," Yao Huang replied. Then, he turned to Yuan Yi and said, "What's going on here? Who dares to hurt you in the outer court?" "It's like this, sir." Yuan Yi simply told Yao Huang what had happened. He didn't dare to lie, but he only mentioned the main point of them being slapped. Their words of ridicule towards Yang Wu were skipped over. After Yao Huang finished listening, his gaze landed on Yang Wu. His old eyes that carried the light of the flames were quite frightening. He questioned, "Is what he said the truth?" "Basically," Yang Wu replied indifferently. "Then why aren't you kneeling down and admitting your mistake? Do you want me to break your legs?" Yao Huang shouted. "Why should I kneel down and admit my mistake? They were the ones who provoked me first. My subordinates were just venting my anger for me. Who told their mouths to be so despicable? This is called disaster starts with saliva. Teach them a lesson, or else it won't be as simple as getting beaten up next time," Yang Wu replied calmly. "Elder Chen, you saw it too. This child is not obedient. How do you think we should deal with him?" Yao Huang looked at Chun Binji and asked, "What's your name? Who are you as a disciple?" Chun Binji asked Yang Wu. "Sir, my name is Wu Ho. Steward Di Bei brought me here," Yang Wu replied in a manner that was neither servile nor overbearing. Coming here, he had to continue calling him Wu Ho and temporarily put down the name Yang Wu. "Where did Di Bei go?" Chun Binji turned around and asked. The elders behind him looked at each other. One of the elders said, "He might have gone to seek an audience with the other lords." "Elder Chen, you have the final say in the assessment of these disciples. What's the meaning of him going to see the other lords?" Yao Huang deliberately instigated. Sure enough, Chun Binji's expression did not look too good. Although these elders who came back from outside had their own positions, he was the elder in charge of the outer court. These new disciples were all assessed by him. In the end, he would decide who could join the Medicine God Hall. In fact, Di Bei had already come to visit him. It was just that his impression of Di Bei was ordinary. He was a guy who did not know how to do things. He came back from afar and did not know how to show filial piety to him. He deserved to be sent to other states. "Little troublemaker that Di Bei brought back, what identity did you take the assessment?" Chen Binji did not rashly deal with Yang Wu. Instead, he asked about the level of Yang Wu's assessment before deciding how to deal with Yang Wu. I don't know yet, Yang Wu muttered. Indeed, he was not sure whether he was considered a core disciple or not. Nanshi had already accepted a disciple on behalf of her master. Logically speaking, he was already considered a core disciple. However, there was no token to prove his identity. It seems that he has connections, Xiaolingzi said in a low voice. He said it in a low voice. However, which one of the people present did not have outstanding senses? They heard it in their hearts. Sir, you must make a decision for us, Yuan Iya and another person cried again. Do you know where you are right now? Who are the people in front of you? Yao Huang questioned Yang Wu. Without waiting for Yang Wu to answer, he said loudly, "This is the Medicine God Hall. The person in front of you is Elder Chen Binji, who is in charge of the outer court. No matter where you come from, no matter how outstanding you are, you should kneel down and repent in front of Elder Chen. Otherwise, there will be no place for you here. It has nothing to do with young master. I was the one who hit him. You can punish me." Little man stood up straight and spoke. "I haven't talked about you yet. The Medicine God Hall does not allow disciples to bring servants here. You will get it later." Yao Huang's saliva almost sprayed on Little Man's face. Yang Wu pulled Little Man behind him. He looked at Yao Huang and said, "We just came here and did not do anything wrong. Why should we repent? Even if you are an elder, you should be reasonable. If you are not reasonable, then the Medicine God Hall will disappoint me. Impudent! I announce that your status as a disciple has been stripped. Immediately take your people and get out of the Medicine God Hall. You are not allowed to take half a step into the Medicine God continent in the future. Otherwise you will be killed without mercy," Chen Binji shouted angrily. A mere disciple dared to openly question his authority and the Medicine God Hall. He was too ignorant. "He is my junior brother. Elder Chen, you have no right to strip him of his status." Chapter 1679. Nanshi had arrived. She was wearing an alchemist's robe, which wrapped around her petite and exquisite figure. Under the loose robe, the places that should be perky were still very perky. Coupled with her round and tender face, she had a different kind of flavor. Dibei also came with Nanshi. After she spoke, she instantly attracted everyone's attention. Chen Binji had already spoken, yet he still dared to go against his words. This boldness was not something an ordinary person could possess. "Nanshi, what do you mean by this? It's not up to you to tell me what to do with these disciples who haven't passed the final test, right?" Chen Binji frowned when he saw Nanshi. Nanshi was also an elder in the Medicine God Palace. Furthermore, she had a higher-up behind her, so he was somewhat fearful. Yao Huang looked at Di Bei, who was behind Nanshi, and said, "Di Bei, the people you brought injured a quasi-inner court disciple and openly contradicted Elder Chen. Why aren't you coming over to give Elder Chen and the injured disciple an explanation?" After a pause, he added, "Bringing such an unruly person here, if the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked." This was a public attack on Di Bei. "What nonsense are you talking about? How can Wu Ho hit someone so easily? Before things are clear, don't speak nonsense." Di Bei replied. "He admitted it just now. Everyone can testify. He can't deny it. Just as Elder Chen said, he should be expelled from the Medicine God Palace and the Medicine God continent." Yao Huang said sternly, "He can expel us just because he said so. He doesn't have the qualifications." Nanshi spoke again. Then, she looked at Chen Binji and said, "Elder Chen, he is my junior brother, my master's new direct disciple. Do you dare to expel him?" Chen Binji's eyes narrowed, and a trace of undetectable panic flashed across his face. Then, he calmed down and said, "Doesn't your master only accept female disciples? Did she say such a thing? Moreover, it's not up to you to tell her what kind of disciple she wants to accept. Nan, she replied faintly. Then, she looked at Yang Wu and said, Junior brother, you are a core disciple. It's fine to beat up these disciples who haven't entered the sect yet. Just don't kill them. Be careful next time. Hiss. The surrounding disciples sucked in a breath of cold air. These words were a little hurtful. They were all alchemist prodigies from various provinces, and none of them were over the age of 50. No matter where they went, they would be treated as distinguished guests. However, when they came here, they were actually looked down upon. This was looking down on them too much. They wanted to refute, but they didn't have the courage to do so. Didn't they want to join the Medicine God Palace because they wanted to be as confident as Nanshi one day? The Medicine God Hall was one of the 5 directional sacred halls. Being able to join it and become one of its members meant that one would be able to stand tall no matter where one went. He's already a core disciple, how come I didn't know? Chen Binji asked again. Nanshi took out a token and said, Do you still have any objections? Chen Binji quickly bowed and said, I wouldn't dare. This token belonged to Nanshi's master. She was holding this token to welcome Yang Wu. He directly opened the green channel, and no one could stop him. This was enough to show how extraordinary her master's status was in the Medicine God Hall. Junior apprentice brother, take your people, let's go. Nanshi looked at Yang Wu and shouted. Yang Wu's appearance had already changed back to his original appearance, and not the Wu Ho appearance that Nanshi saw before. Dibei had told Nanshi about Yang Wu's situation, so Nanshi could recognize Yang Wu. When she saw Yang Wu's appearance, her heart also moved slightly. She secretly said in her heart, Junior apprentice brother is so handsome, you actually dared to lie to me. Watch how I deal with you later. It's senior apprentice sister. After Yang Wu saw Nanshi, a warm smile appeared on his face. Although he had only known Nanshi for a short time, Nanshi had a good temper and was quite good to him. Naturally, he also felt a sense of closeness to her. Just like this, Yang Wu took Qi Jin, little man, and left with Nanshi. Chen Binji watched Yang Wu leave, but he couldn't say a word. It was as if something was stuck in his throat, and it was extremely uncomfortable. Yao Huang was at a loss. He had brought back a few good seedlings this time, and could have stayed in the main hall. But now, he had offended a core disciple. He even had the heart to die. Fortunately, Xiao Lingzi will also become a core disciple. Even if he is that disciple, he won't dare to be too presumptuous. Yao Huang comforted himself. Huoshensi looked at Yang Wu enviously as he left. He seemed to have exclaimed, Boss, bring me along. In the end, he, who had the body of a divine son, didn't say such shameless words. The other disciples silently memorized Yang Wu's appearance. This was a guy that couldn't be offended. In the crowd there was also Luo Xiangxiang. She had arrived a few days earlier than Yang Wu. She had been staying here to cultivate, waiting for the day of the examination to begin. But she didn't expect to see Yang Wu arrive first. At first, she didn't recognize Yang Wu. After all, Yang Wu's appearance had changed a lot. Now that she heard Yang Wu admit that he was Wu Ho, and Nanshi and Dibei confirmed it, she was even more surprised. Is he an impostor? Or is he a spy? Luo Xiangxiang had a lot of questions in her heart. She was hesitating whether or not she should expose Yang Wu. The Medicine God Palace had to know the personal situation of every alchemist to prevent spies. If Yang Wu's identity was tainted, no one would be able to protect him. When I have the chance, I will have him in my hands, she thought to herself. When Yang Wu and the others were far away, Chen Binji shouted, What are you all doing here? Hurry up and go back to cultivate. The examination will begin in half a month. If you can't stay, then scram. Finished speaking, he turned around and angrily left. Yao Huang didn't care about Yuan Yi and the other person as he quickly chased after them. Elder Chen, don't be anxious. This time, I found a core disciple. His talent is very high and he will have no problem becoming a core disciple. As long as you find him a good master, He will definitely repay you," Yao Huang said as he chased Qin Binji to his residence. "Are you sure he has the ability to become a core disciple?" Qin Binji asked. "Of course. I personally tested him. I can't be wrong," Yao Huang said confidently. "Good. Bring him here for me to see. If he is suitable, I will find him a great master. Then I will thank Elder Qin." Yang Wu followed Nan Shi to one of the main halls of the Medicine God Palace. The main hall they went to was called Wonderful Life Hall. It was one of the 9 main halls of the Medicine God Palace. The 9 halls of the Medicine God Palace were Medicine God, All Beings, All Creation, Elixir Celestial, Wonderful Life, Grass Crossing, First Dawn, Middle Sky, and Sunset. The Medicine God Palace was the main hall and was where the sect leaders stayed. The other 8 halls were where the 8 hall leaders lived. The Wonderful Life Pill was controlled by the true God Realm alchemist Xiao Yenyun. She was a legendary hall leader and was an extremely unique existence in the Medicine God Palace. When Yang Wu followed Nan Shi to the Wonderful Life Hall, he saw a divine tree growing on the side of the mountain road. Endless divine light flashed and divine fruits hung from it. Each divine fruit had a different shape. Some looked like a baby laughing, some like a lion, and some like a cow. Without waiting for Yang Wu to ask, Nan Shi took the initiative to introduce it. "This is the mysterious tree. It has a very magical effect. It blooms once every 5,000 years, bears fruit once every 5,000 years, and ripens once every 5,000 years. The effects of the fruit are endless." "So it is the mysterious tree," Yang Wu sighed. The little man couldn't help but ask, "Planting it here, aren't you afraid that other people will steal the fruits?" Even if a true god came, he might not be able to steal it," Nan Shi said with a trace of pride in her eyes. After passing by the mysterious tree, Yang Wu and the others saw stalks of old herbs. There was no lack of saintly herbs and even godly herbs flying nearby. However, they couldn't fly more than a few kilometers away from this place. Soon, an ancient hall came into view. The 3 ancient words, Wonderful Life Hall, were hung above the door. Beautiful women were walking around nearby. They were laughing like silver bells, and they seemed to be in a good mood. "Senior Sister Nan is back." Why did she bring a young man back? Could it be that he's her lover? Senior Sister Nan is too mean. She found her ideal husband by herself and didn't introduce us to a few good men. This young man is so handsome, and his temperament is also very good. Just looking at him makes one want to take pity on him. I really want to steal Senior Sister Nan's man. These women ridiculed without any scruples. Nan Shi rolled her eyes at them and said, "Don't talk nonsense. This is your little junior brother Wu Ho. He will soon become Master's personal disciple." "Wow, he's going to become the Temple Master's personal disciple. Doesn't that mean we'll have to serve him? Great, the Temple Master has finally accepted another disciple, and it's a man. Interesting. Temple Master can't be an old cow eating young grass, right? Little junior brother is so handsome, won't he be played to death by her? Don't talk nonsense, the Temple Master will always be an incomparably pure person in our hearts." After listening to their conversation, Yang Wu felt like he was in a mess, as if he had come to a bad place. Nan Shi scolded, "Why aren't you cultivating? Don't talk bad about Master here. When she takes care of you, don't come to me to beg for mercy." Then, she looked at the little man and Qi Jin and said, "You two wait outside. Junior brother, come with me to see Master." Yang Wu nodded and followed Nan Shi into the Wonderful Life Palace. When he stepped into the Wonderful Life Palace, he felt like the stars had changed, as if he had entered another world. This was not an ordinary palace, but a spatial palace. After entering, there were mountain ranges crisscrossing this place. There were living creatures living here, and old herbs could be seen everywhere. There was also a stream running through this space, making it seem alive. In front, there were exquisite courtyards for people to live in. This was the Wonderful Life Palace. Yang Wu opened his eyes and said, "Senior Sister Nan, this is Master's palace? This is the wonderful life palace of the Medicine God Temple. Master is the temple master here." Nan, she replied. Yang Wu understood the meaning of her words. This was the Medicine God Temple's main palace, and her master was only the temple master. She had the right to use it, but it was not her personal property. Chapter 1680. The Wonderful Life Palace was a spatial palace. The palace master of the Wonderful Life Palace, Qiao Yenyun, lived in a courtyard located at the center of the space. The courtyard occupied a large area and was surrounded by divine trees. Spiritual birds were chirping and peach blossoms were blooming. It was a beautiful scene. A spiritual bird cried out, "A guest has arrived, a guest has arrived." After the spiritual bird finished chirping, a voice rang out, "Noisy!" A burst of energy shot out and sent the spirit bird flying. Yang Wu could sense that the force wasn't weak. Even if it hit a deity-level creature, there would be a hole in it. However, the spiritual bird didn't even lose a single hair. It flew back and cried out, "A guest has arrived, a guest has arrived." The spiritual bird was purposely playing tricks. It had power and continuously bounced out. The spiritual bird wasn't hit and dodged left and right. It was quite agile. Can't hit, caw. After the spiritual bird cried out happily for a while, a palm flipped over and slapped it into the ground. It couldn't even cry out. Nancy covered her forehead and said, "It's like this every time." "What's like this every time? Do you think that your master doesn't have a good teacher?" A voice rang out from the courtyard and a figure walked out. It was a tall and sturdy woman. She was 7 feet tall and was much taller than ordinary men. Her figure was incomparably hot, and she was full of wildness. Even the sexy divine armor couldn't hide her proud buttocks. Her face wasn't ugly. On the contrary, it was very good-looking. Coupled with her handsome short hair, it made people feel that she was a woman full of heroic spirit. Definitely heroic spirit and handsome. She was a very unique woman. Other than the pressure given by her height, the heroic aura she exuded was also full of aura. Nancy bowed slightly and said, "Master, this is junior brother Wu Ho. He refined the 5th Tribulation Emperor Holy Pill." Qiao Yenyun's gaze landed on Yang Wu. That intimidating gaze caused Yang Wu's pressure to increase. He quickly bowed and said, "Greetings, madam." This woman's strength had reached the true God realm. Only true God realm powerhouses could make Yang Wu feel uncomfortable. Not bad, not bad. To possess such a cultivation at such a young age, I presume that you are not just a saint alchemist. Speak, can you refine a tribulation-free divine Dan or a tribulation divine Dan? Qiao Yinyun saw through Yang Wu's strength and began to guess Yang Wu's alchemist level. Junior brother is a godly apothecary? Nancy was slightly surprised. Soon, she recalled that Yang Wu had obtained the Alchemy Furnace Mystic Realm's inheritance, and he had probably digested it completely. It wouldn't be difficult for him to become a divine apothecary. But he was not even 50 years old, and he already had the position of a divine alchemist. This was too shocking. Becoming a divine apothecary before the age of 100 was already an incomparably outstanding monster in the divine realm, let alone someone who was 50 years old. Yang Wu pondered for a moment and said, "Occasionally, I can refine 4th Tribulation divine pills. Maybe I can also refine 5th Tribulation divine pills." He chose to be honest. There was no point in hiding it any longer. Since he chose to stay in the Medicine God Palace, there was no need to hide his strength. The stronger his potential, the faster he could establish himself here. "Impossible, junior brother, don't lie," Nancy exclaimed. Now, she was only a 3rd Tribulation divine apothecary. She was only a 3rd Tribulation divine apothecary. There was still some distance between her and a 4th Tribulation divine apothecary. She had been learning alchemy for almost 300 years. In the Medicine God Palace, she could be considered a relatively young third tribulation divine apothecary. She found it hard to accept that Yang Wu was a fourth tribulation divine apothecary, or even a fifth tribulation divine apothecary. Xiao Yinyun's eyes lit up. She said loudly, "Good boy, you really have such a cultivation realm?" Yang Wu nodded affirmatively and said, "I definitely wouldn't dare to lie to you." All right. Hurry up and refine a cauldron of pills for me. Let me take a look. If you dare to lie to me, I will properly deal with you. If you really reach the level of a fourth tribulation divine alchemist, it won't be a problem for me to acknowledge you as my junior brother. Xiao Yinyun was an impatient person. All right. Yang Wu also replied confidently. Refining pills was just a daily thing for him. There was no problem at all. There was a very good place to refine pills in the Wonderful Life Palace. There was a formation set up all around. There was also a tranquil divine cauldron. Divine incense was burning. Smelling it could calm one's mind and eliminate one's inner demons, allowing one to wholeheartedly focus on refining pills. There was also a dense fire xian qi floating from the ground. Xiao Yinyun took out a yin and yang ring and threw it to Yang Wu. She said, "There are a lot of herbs here. You can refine any divine pill you want. As long as you can refine a fourth tribulation divine pill, everything in this yin and yang ring will be yours. Treat it as a little gift from me." Nanshi revealed a trace of longing and said, "Master, you are too biased. If you can refine a fourth tribulation divine pill now, I can also give it to you." Xiao Yinyun looked at Nanshi and said, "Humph, I will be able to do it soon," Nanshi said proudly. Yang Wu looked at the items in the yin and yang ring. His eyes instantly opened wide and he exclaimed, This gift is too precious." "What? You can return it to me if you think it's too precious. Only a fool would return it." Yang Wu thought that the other party was a true God realm expert. He didn't stand on ceremony, and kept the yin and yang ring. This yin and yang ring was filled with a lot of herbs. There were also a lot of divine herbs and saint herbs. Its value was enough to make any true God realm expert go crazy. No, it should be said that any major force would be jealous. This yin and yang ring could be said to be a small divine treasure. This lord is a sentimental person. You must perform well. Just leave it here, Yang Wu said. He took out the medicinal cauldron and began to clean it. Every movement was meticulous, and he maintained his sincerity in refining pills. Yang Wu's actions made Xiao Yinyun's eyes light up. She thought to herself, interesting. Very soon, Yang Wu started the fire to refine the medicine. His soul controlled the herbs to fly into the medicine cauldron. Blue Demoness fire was sometimes strong and sometimes weak. She carefully refined the essence of each herb. When Xiao Yinyun saw Yang Wu's heart flame again, she was even more surprised. She couldn't help but wonder if Yang Wu was born with a pill body or the medicine god's son. He actually had such a high-grade fire seed. He was simply a natural alchemy material. At this point, she could conclude that Yang Wu's words weren't false. Refining pills, protecting herbs, refining demon cores, spirit congealing pills. Every step required skill. Moreover, it also required the support of powerful strength. It also required the control of the extraction and fusion of each herb to an incomparably exquisite level. Yang Wu obtained the inheritance of the Pill Furnace secret realm. Many of the inheritances could benefit him greatly. He also took the opportunity to further improve the quality of his pill refining. Get rid of the dregs and keep the essence. This was the essence of the inheritance of the Pill Furnace secret realm. Yang Wu's body had undergone this kind of refinement. His body had become even more astonishing. With his personal experience, he could refine pills more easily this time. There was a feeling of good fortune in his heart. It was incomparably easier than before. This had a lot to do with him reaching the second level of the Jade Moon realm. When he was in the Sage realm, if he wanted to refine a divine pill, He needed the help of a divine formation to speed up the process. Now, he didn't need to rely on these external things. The profound chi in his body was like a tide, endless. Moreover, the regal 9 mysteries arts also absorbed energy from all directions to replenish it. As long as he consumed a bit of energy, it would quickly replenish him. This was the magical part of the regal 9 mysteries art. This could be used in a battle. It could be used to prolong the battle and save his life at the crucial moment. It didn't take too long for Yang Wu to successfully refine the pill. When bursts of medicinal fragrance filled the surroundings, layers of multicolored light erupted from the cauldron. It was hard to extricate oneself from it. This was the wonderful life palace. It was isolated from the lightning tribulation. There was no need to experience the baptism of divine lightning. However, whether it could become a tribulation pill or not still needed to be open to know. Nancy saw the entire process of refining the pill. She actually couldn't find any flaws in Yang Wu's refinement. She exclaimed in her heart, "Junior brother Wu is too amazing." Before Yang Wu opened Xiao Yinyun, he took the initiative to clap and said, "Good, good. It seems you are already a divine alchemist. Not bad, not bad. This silly girl Nan, she has silly luck. She picked up such a precious disciple for me. Master is happy, very happy. Didn't you say you would recognize me as your junior brother after refining the 4th tribulation pill?" Yang Wu asked. "Haha, your ambition isn't small. Open the cauldron and take a look." Xiao Yinyun laughed. Yang Wu opened the lid of the cauldron. Multicolored light rose, the medicinal fragrance was astonishing, and the clouds were picturesque. When all of this dissipated, 6 round divine pills floated up, each with 5 tribulation runes. They were undoubtedly 5 tribulation divine pills. This is a 5th tribulation jade essence pill. Not bad, not bad. Xiao Yinyun praised after grabbing the divine pills. She then patted Yang Wu's shoulder and said, "Good disciple. From today onwards, you are Master's personal disciple. If anyone dares to bully you outside, just mention Master's name. Master will stand up for you." "Didn't you just say?" Yang Wu hesitated. Before he could finish, Xiao Yinyun interrupted him and said, "Impudent. I was just joking with you. Master is a dignified true divinity alchemist. Do you think I don't have the qualifications to be your master? Alright, let's do it like this. Nan Shi will tell you how to register your name in the wonderful life palace. From today onwards, you are not only Master's disciple, but also a senior elder of my divine medicine hall. You will have special privileges. Master, junior brother hasn't taken the examination yet. Can he be exempted from this?" Nan Shi asked again. "It's not impossible to be exempted, but Master wants to be in the limelight. I don't want people from other palaces to think that I, Xiao Yinyun, can't get a good disciple. During the examination, you will refine the divine pills well. When those people want to snatch you as their disciple, you can choose to acknowledge me as your master. Just thinking about that situation makes me happy." Xiao Yinyun said. A black line appeared on Yang Wu's face. What kind of master did he acknowledge? Was she really a true divinity alchemist? Chapter 1681. Xiao Yinyun was a legend in the Medicine God Palace. She was also a prodigy. She wasn't even 1,000 years old, yet she overcame all difficulties and became a hall master of the Medicine God Palace. The alchemy talent she displayed was incomparably shocking. It even alarmed the great hall master, who personally conferred her the title of Wonderful Life Hall Master. The talent she displayed was shocking, but at the same time she offended many people. Many alchemists were oppressed by her. When she wanted to become the Wonderful Life Hall Master, these people ran out to oppose her, which alarmed the Great Hall Master. The Great Hall Master made the final decision and conferred her the title of Wonderful Life Hall Master. She was also the youngest Hall Master of the Medicine God Palace. Even after Xiao Yinyun became the Wonderful Life Hall Master, her temperament didn't change. She was carefree all day long and never had any scruples when doing things. Many people were annoyed by her, but they couldn't do anything about it. Now, this woman was already a four-tribulation true god alchemist. Her alchemy talent could be ranked in the top 3 in the Medicine God Palace. Moreover, she was still very young and had a very bright future. Qiao Yinyun didn't accept many disciples. Most of them were female disciples. This time, it was Nan Shi who overstepped and accepted a male disciple for her, which added a trace of masculinity to the wonderful life hall. Qiao Yinyun came from the Luo Prefecture. She promised that as long as a core disciple appeared in the Luo Prefecture, she would accept him as her disciple. Yang Wu originally thought that after becoming a core disciple, he would be able to stay in the Medicine God Palace with peace of mind. Who would have thought that his master would let him participate in the assessment and even let him step on other people's faces? He was really helpless. Fortunately, Qiao Yinyun let him choose a place to stay. He could first settle Qi Jin and the little man down, so they wouldn't have to return to the outer court. After settling down, Yang Wu was brought around by Nan Shi to familiarize himself with the wonderful life hall. She taught him where he could move around and where he couldn't. She also taught him the rules of the Medicine God Palace so that he wouldn't break the rules here. Yang Wu was grateful for Nan Shi's care. He decided that after he settled down, he would teach his senior sister some alchemy skills. It would help her reach a higher level. In the following half a month, Yang Wu began to take stock of his gains after coming to the God Realm. Along the way, he had killed quite a number of Immortal Realm experts and obtained quite a number of universe rings. His gains were considerable, and they were the foundation for him to establish himself in the Immortal Realm. In Yang Wu's eyes, the most valuable item was the ancient war flag that he had obtained from Meng Jun. This ancient war banner had been dyed in the blood of many powerful creatures. When it was waved about with power, the blood fiend energy would shock the heavens. Ordinary deity-level creatures would find it hard to endure. It was comparable to a true deity-level treasure. He had the blood fiend mystic essence chi. If this kind of mystic essence chi was injected, his power would increase by another level. In addition, he had obtained many secret skills, combat skills, and treasures of heaven and earth from other powerful God-state experts. He deduced the profound formulas he had obtained and integrated them into the 9 sovereign profound arts, further increasing the grade of the 9 sovereign profound arts and helping it absorb the energy of heaven and earth even more rapidly. At the same time, he also divided his attention and practiced many combat skills, including fist skills, leg skills, sword skills, and saber skills. He continued to enhance his combat ability. He continued to polish his strength and combat strength in preparation for emergencies. Ever since he came to the God Realm, he did not dare to slack off for even a day. Otherwise, he would not even know how to spell the word death. Half a month passed quickly, and no one came to disturb him. When the time for the assessment came, Nan Shi appeared again. It's time for the assessment of the new disciples. Junior brother, are you ready? Nan Shi called out like a lark. Yang Wu walked out of the house with a charming smile and replied, "Let's go. I'm always ready. I asked for nothing. You're already qualified to become an inner elder. What else do you need to prepare?" Nan Shi laughed at herself. The annual assessment of the new disciples was held in the outer court of the Medicine God Palace. It was hosted by Chun Binji and witnessed by the other elders. There were more than 1,000 disciples who had arrived. Basically, all of them had reached the level of a 3-tribulation saint pharmacist. Moreover, they were all at least 50 years old. Only then were they qualified to participate in the assessment. The assessment this time would be watched by all the palace masters and high-ranking elders. They might not be present in person, but they knew everything about the pill refinement field like the back of their hand. When the time came, they would pick the new inner disciples to join their sections. If there was a core disciple, the palace master would even personally accept him as a disciple. It was destined to be an extraordinarily lively event. Under Nan Shi's lead, Yang Wu quietly arrived at the vast pill refinement field. The field was large enough to accommodate 100,000 people. It was quite a spectacular sight. Boss, you're still here. Didn't I hear that you've been accepted as a disciple of a certain lord? Huashensi was surprised when he saw Yang Wu. I have to go through the assessment to be accepted as a disciple. Yang Wu replied. Then, he asked, how is it? Are you confident that you can become an inner disciple? Of course I'm confident. Ever since you taught me, my alchemy skills have improved by leaps and bounds. I feel like I'm an alchemy genius. It's a pity that I don't have a master to teach me. If Boss is a godly alchemist, I'll definitely take you as my master. Huashensi was quite confident. I don't want to be your master. Yang Wu replied. If you don't want to be, there will definitely be other elders who want to be. Every elder in the Medicine God Palace has their own unique alchemy skills. My biggest wish in life is to cultivate both alchemy and martial art. I want to progress together and become a true godly alchemist. Huashensi said with great anticipation. I wish you success. Thank you, boss. You have to succeed too. Take me with you. While Yang Wu and Huashensi were talking, Xiao Lingzi, Yuania, and the others cast unfriendly glances at Yang Wu. Young Master Xiao, this time you must amaze everyone and become the most dazzling alchemist of this year. Step on all of them. Yuania transmitted his voice to Xiao Lingzi. Don't look down on others. Xiao Lingzi laughed. Young Master Xiao, after you become a core disciple, I'll still be your lackey. It's good that you have the heart. Do your best and try to stay. After everyone had gathered, Chun Binji explained the rules and shouted, Alchemy Tower, please. Suddenly, an alchemy tower appeared in the alchemy square. An ancient aura spread out in all directions. Everyone was in an uproar. Yang Wu was also surprised. This alchemy tower was similar to the Medicine God Palace's inheritance tower he obtained in the Transcendent Realm. The only difference was that this alchemy tower didn't seem to be as good as the one he had. This alchemy tower here was more like a replica. This could be seen from some of the details. Its level wasn't as high, and some parts of the replica were slightly rough. As expected, it's a place of inheritance. Yang Wu exclaimed in his heart. All right, you all enter one by one according to the order. The higher the level, the greater your ability. Do your best, Chin Binji said in a clear voice. The alchemy tower contained extraordinary power. After entering, they would be assigned to different spaces. These alchemists would have to complete the assigned tasks to determine whether they would be promoted or not. These disciples entered the alchemy tower one by one. They were all separated by space and were not together. No one could sense each other's existence. This was the magical part of the alchemy tower. Yang Wu also entered with the other disciples and began to come into contact with his first task. This task was the simplest one, identifying herbs. Within a set time, one had to identify a pile of herbs in front of them and they would be considered to have successfully passed. This task seemed simple, but when a few similar herbs were placed together, it was easy to make mistakes. A few alchemists couldn't even pass this task and were directly eliminated. They wanted to cry, but even if they cried, no one would sympathize with them. The Medicine God Palace wanted to select disciples and couldn't tolerate the slightest bit of carelessness. The second task was refining medicine. Each herb had to be purified to 95%. Only then would they be considered to have passed. Purifying herbs was also a necessary skill for alchemists. However, the requirement to purify herbs to 95% was not something that ordinary people could do. This task eliminated a total of 30% of the people. Too difficult, too difficult. In the branch hall, it clearly only needed to be purified to 90%. Why does it have to be purified to 95% here? Do they want to recruit disciples or not? How can they control it as well as the alchemist? Forget it, forget it. I'm still not skilled enough. I'll go back and refine it again. When the time comes, how many people will be able to stay? At the third level, it was fire control. The requirements were also very high. One had to accurately control their own flames and reach a certain level before they could pass. At this point, another quarter of the people were eliminated. Yang Wu had already experienced these things. Moreover, he was also very careful and smoothly reached the 5th level. After reaching this level, it was the real start of alchemy. Refining the star pill. There was still no pressure at this level. Yang Wu refined a 6th tribulation divine pill. When he put the pill into the card slot for verification, starlight bloomed in the alchemy tower. Swoosh! 6 rays of starlight flickered in the alchemy field, alarming the people in the outer court of the medicine god hall. 6 rays of starlight. A 6th tribulation divine pill has appeared. How long has it been? Who is it? How monstrous! It hasn't even been 2 hours and a 6th tribulation divine pill has appeared. This talent is heaven-defying. I wonder which prefecture this disciple is from. It's definitely not a problem for him to become a core disciple. He might be one of the candidates who have the potential to become a core disciple. He can already be considered a divine alchemist. 6 rays of starlight represented the appearance of a 6th tribulation divine pill. This person could be considered an emperor alchemist among the divine alchemists. His status was comparable to an ordinary divine alchemist. After the 6 rays of starlight flickered, 3 more rays of starlight flashed consecutively. This meant that 3 people had refined a 5th tribulation divine pill. Then, more than 10 rays of 4 rays of starlight appeared. A large number of 3 rays of starlight appeared. Occasionally, 2 rays of starlight could be seen flickering. These all represented different levels of divine alchemists. However, this was not the climax. When the alchemy tower opened for 3 hours, 7 rays of starlight suddenly appeared, causing an uproar in the medicine god hall. Chapter 1682. A few hall masters and elders of the medicine god hall were staring at the alchemy tower. They were all shocked when they saw the 7 flashes of starlight. 7 tribulation divine pill. Good heavens, a divine alchemist is here. No, even a divine alchemist can't refine a divine pill to this level. One has to purify the herbs to at least 99% and fuse the essences to 100% before they can refine a 7 tribulation divine pill. This is a perfect 7 tribulation divine pill. Although we have the ability to do so, we definitely couldn't do it at his age. This kid has already mastered alchemy and formed his own Tao. Moreover, his Tao is not shallow. There's no reason for this disciple to miss out. Let's see the final assessment of the alchemy tower first. We'll know who it is. Other than the higher-ups of the medicine god hall, the other elders were also shocked. Some inner sect disciples also felt a strong threat. Who was this kid? She looked at the alchemy tower and muttered, "Could it be junior brother?" Xiaolingzi, who was on the 5th floor, said proudly, "Who can compare to the 7 tribulation divine pill that I refined?" Haha. Xiaolingzi had an innate alchemy body. He had been compatible with pills since he was young. His talent in alchemy was extremely outstanding. Moreover, he had other amazing inheritances. Yang Wu, who had reached the 6th floor, didn't know at all. He continued to take the assessment. This alchemy tower had a total of 9 floors. The assessment on the 1st floor was different. The 5th floor was to refine the star pill, the 6th floor was to refine the demon pill, the 7th floor was to refine the variant pill, the 8th floor was to refine the demonic pill, and the 9th floor was to refine the heartless pill. After reaching the 9th floor, one would be on the list of Saint Alchemists. Very few people could reach the 9th floor. It was already quite impressive to reach the 7th and 8th floor. Finally, the heartless pill was one of the most difficult saint pills to refine. It was even more difficult to refine than the vanishing spirit pill. In the past 1,000 years, among the 50-year-old saint alchemists, no more than 10 people had successfully passed the test. Most saint alchemists could refine the demon pill. A small number of alchemists could refine the variant pill. However, most of them couldn't refine the demonic pill. Even if they had the recipe here, they couldn't refine it. After all, each pill had different requirements. To refine a saint alchemist's pill according to their characteristic. That was not an easy task. Yang Wu didn't feel any pressure in this aspect. Ever since he began refining pills, he had come into contact with a large number of pill recipes and had attempted to refine all sorts of pills. He had also passed through the Transcendental World's Divine Medicine Temple many times and had obtained many harvests. And recently, he had also obtained the Pill Furnace Mystic Realm's inheritance, so he didn't care what sort of saint pill he refined. Understood. 10. Yang Wu advanced triumphantly all the way, refining all 6 tribulation holy pills, and reached the 8th level. It was not that he did not have the ability to refine a 7 tribulation sacred pill, but he did not want to be too perfect. This was just a test. Being too perfect did not mean that he was the best. The one who reached the end in the fastest time was the real winner. Refining the demon soul Saint Dan? Yang Wu muttered as he looked at the requirements for the 8th floor. Demon soul Saint Dan. It was a kind of pill aimed at the demon clan soul. After Yang Wu looked at the recipe, he was not in a hurry to refine the pill. Instead, he meditated for a while before starting. It was not easy to refine the demon soul Saint Dan. If he followed a normal method, he would be able to successfully refine it. However, he would definitely not be able to reach the 5th tribulation or even the 6th tribulation. In fact, Yang Wu could already be confirmed as a core disciple by reaching this step. He was also the person who had improved the fastest. The others were still at the 6th floor. He had been refining 6th tribulation holy pills all the way, which had already attracted the attention of the upper echelons. If not for the isolation of the alchemy tower, they would have caught him immediately. That little guy has reached the 8th floor. This is the best result in the past 100 years. I wonder if he can break this record. The Demon Clan's pills are not that easy to refine. However, he has been very fast all the way. It can be seen that his alchemy skills are very good. This Demon Clan's pills are not difficult for him. It just depends on whether he can reach the 4th tribulation or above. The little guy who refined the 7th tribulation holy pill didn't seem to be able to keep up. He also couldn't refine the 7th tribulation holy pill. However, 6 starlights appeared 2 or 3 times. He might be mixed in with them. He is also a good seedling. The little guy who rushed to the front is the most talented. I don't know which state he came from. Even the disciples we nurtured are not so outstanding. When the 8th floor flashed with 6 starlights again, most of the people in the Medicine God Temple were alarmed. From the 1st floor all the way to the 8th floor, he had passed perfectly. He was comparable to an historical prodigy. Those who could be said to be historical were legends that could be recorded in the long river of history and be remembered forever. The Medicine God Temple had once again witnessed the birth of a miracle. However, they did not know who the person who created this miracle was. Bei, who was in the crowd, said expectantly, "Could it be that little guy Wu Ho?" As soon as this thought appeared, he extinguished it. When he was in the branch hall, Yang Wu had only refined a 5th tribulation holy pill. How could he refine a 6th tribulation holy pill continuously after coming here? It was impossible for his improvement to be so fast. Yao Huang's mood was also quite complicated. He thought to himself, it must be Xiaolingzi. It must be him. He only has the innate alchemy body and is naturally compatible with herbs. He can easily refine perfect pills. However, he did not know that Xiaolingzi had just passed the 6th floor and refined a 6th tribulation holy pill. His pill formation was still perfect. When he reached the 7th floor, he said angrily, "Damn it! Why did I have to refine a foreign race's pill? It's too difficult." Xiaolingzi had been learning alchemy since he was young. However, he had always refined human race's pills. He did not involve himself with other races' pills. His energy was limited and the pill recipes were limited. He was not allowed to study many aspects. Now that he had encountered a foreign race's pill, he was in pain. However, he quickly calmed down and began to refine the foreign race's pill. He still believed that he could pass. 3 people reached the 7th floor in a row. Whether they could break through or not would depend on their own abilities. Yang Wu was the first to reach the 9th floor. His speed was so fast that no one could compare. After reaching this floor, Yang Wu did not feel much pressure. He had refined the Heartless Pill before and was familiar with it. It was not difficult for him. On the contrary, the 8th floor was more difficult in his eyes. The Demonic Soul Pill needed to be integrated with a wisp of demonic soul power to become a perfect pill. Fortunately, he had thought it through. When he was refining the demonic core, he left a wisp of demonic soul power and finally refined it into the pill. Otherwise, he would not have been able to refine a 6th tribulation demonic soul pill. Let's end it. Yang Wu used his soul to control the medicine. Dazzling herbs flew into the medicine cauldron continuously. He refined them one by one. The last step was also a perfect pill formation. It was still a 6th tribulation holy pill. Yang Wu passed all the levels of the alchemy tower perfectly. When 6 streaks of starlight flashed on the 9th floor, all the hall masters in the Medicine God Hall rushed out. The hall masters of the Universal Hall, Myriad Hall, Wonder Hall, Crossing Grass Hall, and Sunset Hall arrived in person. A total of 5 hall masters came in person. Dozens of supreme elders and dozens of high-level elders appeared together. Such a scene shocked all the elders, deacons, and disciples in the alchemy square. Greetings, palace masters and grand elders. The group of people respectfully bowed and called out. Rise, the 5 hall masters replied in unison. Chun Binji stepped forward and said in shock, Hall masters and supreme elders, today is a joyous occasion. A disciple has passed the level perfectly. You don't need to say that. We are not blind, Xiao Yenyun, the Wonder Hall master, replied bluntly. Chen Binji's face instantly turned red. He felt very uncomfortable. The hall master's words were too hurtful. The heavens are blessing our Medicine God Hall for such a disciple to appear. Elder Chen, you should remember this merit, Crossing Grass Hall Master Jing Yen said from the side. His words instantly resolved Chen Binji's awkwardness. Chen Binji was overjoyed and immediately said, Thank you, Hall Master Jing. This is all thanks to the stewards, especially Steward Yao. The best seedling was brought back by him. Oh, do you know who passed the level? Jing Yen asked. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a 90% chance that it's the disciple I brought back, Xiaolingzi. He once refined a 7 tribulation sacred pill and has an innate core body, Yao Huang said proudly. Xiantian core body. The higher-ups present were all shocked. This was one of the best physiques among alchemists. Good. Then I'll see if it's Xiaolingzi. If it is, I'll definitely take him as my disciple, Jing Yen said excitedly. It's not certain if he'll take you as his master, Qiao Yenyun said from the side. That's right. I also want to take him as my disciple, Sunset Hall Master replied. Such a good seedling. It's better to let him choose his master freely, Myriad Hall Master said with a smile. What if it's not Xiaolingzi? Myriad Hall Master asked. Everyone was stunned for a moment. They seemed to have forgotten this possibility. Chen Binji glanced at Yao Huang. Yao Huang endured his scalp and said, This subordinate feels that only he can pass the level so quickly. Chen Binji agreed, That's right. I've looked at all the seedlings this time. There are indeed a few good ones, but compared to Xiaolingzi, they're all a bit lacking. It's definitely not Xiaolingzi, Qiao Yinyun said with a smile. Junior sister Qiao, why are you so sure? Jing Yan asked. A woman's sixth sense, Qiao Yinyun said as she nodded. At that moment a Grand Elder stood out and said, Stop guessing. He'll be the first to come out. When the time comes, everyone will know. This old man emphasizes that no one can forcefully take him as a disciple. He'll choose himself. We'll rely on our own abilities. This Grand Elder was very experienced. He was once a hall master. Although he had retired many years ago, his prestige was still very high. His words were not any weaker than the hall master's. That's right. I think so too. This old man also wants to take in a closed-door disciple. He's the most suitable candidate, another Grand Elder said. We'll rely on our own abilities. It'll all depend on his luck. He's out. He's out. Chapter 1683. Chen Binji and Yao Huang were sure that Xiao Lingzi would be the one to pass the 9th level in the alchemy tower. Both of them had tested Xiao Lingzi's ability. He could refine 7 tribulation sacred pills, and his refining speed was very fast. They felt that no one in the younger generation could surpass him. They had already recommended him to the palace master. As long as Xiao Lingzi was outstanding, the palace master would accept him as a disciple. However, when the first person to pass the level came out, they were all dumbfounded. The person who came out was not Xiao Lingzi, but Yang Wu, who they had a dispute with. Impossible, how can it be him? Yao Huang said in a panic. Chen Binji frowned and said, He should have been eliminated. Yes, he must have been eliminated. Yao Huang came back to his senses and said, Many young alchemists went in and there were people who were eliminated one after another. Would Yang Wu be one of them? This was obviously impossible. Are you blind? Didn't you see that he was transferred out from the 9th level? Qiao Yinyun's words instantly shattered their self-deceiving thoughts. The two of them were instantly stunned. One of the Grand Elders moved the fastest and appeared in front of Yang Wu. He said, Little guy, I'm Grand Elder He Bao. Are you willing to be my disciple? I can teach you the 18 secret alchemy technique. It can definitely help you become a true god alchemist. Grand Elder He, you're old and not suitable to teach. He's the successor I'm looking for. Chao Crossing Hall's Jingyan also came in front of Yang Wu and said, Bullshit, you're old. Your whole family is old. He's my disciple. He Bao retorted and grabbed Yang Wu, wanting to take Yang Wu away. Unexpectedly, another Grand Elder rushed over and stopped him. He said, Let this little guy choose his master. Don't break the rules of the Medicine God Hall. He then said, I have the 3 ancient alchemy technique. Each of them is a secret. As long as you accept me as your master, I can teach you all of them. Those disciples who had been eliminated in advance, as well as the onlooking elders and deacons, were all envious when they heard this. They wanted a secret alchemy technique but couldn't get it. Yang Wu, on the other hand, had a bunch of secret alchemy techniques waiting for him to choose from. Yang Wu didn't expect to cause such a big commotion. He hurriedly looked in the direction of his master, hoping that she would help him out. However, she was like a proud swan, pretending not to see anything. The hall master beside her was also tempted, but he couldn't bring himself to snatch the disciple away. They also had a considerable number of disciples by their side, but there were not many who could compare with Yang Wu. However, they were palace masters, after all, and there were plenty of disciples with outstanding talent who would take them as their masters. There was no need for them to be so humble. The disciples of Palace Master Jing Yan and the other Grand Elders were not as outstanding as Yang Wu, which was why they desired Yang Wu so much. They reached an agreement and waited for Yang Wu to choose his own teacher. Yang Wu squeezed through them and walked towards Qiao Yinyun. The other palace masters thought that he was coming towards them, and they all had a warm smile on their faces. Even the palace master of all things, who was famous for his coldness, had a rare smile on his face, hoping that Yang Wu would take them as his master. However, Yang Wu bowed deeply towards Qiao Yinyun and said, "Greetings, master." "Haha, good disciple, good disciple." Qiao Yinyun laughed proudly. She had gained a lot of face today. The faces of the palace masters and grand elders instantly darkened. Of all the people he could take as his master, he just had to take Qiao Yinyun as his master. This brat really had no foresight. Soon, another prodigy came out from the 8th floor. This prodigy was not Xiaolingzi, but a woman called Li Hongqian. She passed the 8th floor and failed on the 9th floor. She took the palace master of all things as her master. The palace of all things was second only to the medicine god palace. The palace master who could stay in the palace of all things naturally had extraordinary talent in alchemy, which also proved that she had high standards. At this moment, Xiaolingzi, who came out from the 8th floor, shouted, "I almost passed the 8th floor. I should be the one who passed the most floors, right?" Everyone's gazes looked towards him, and all of them had a hint of waning interest in their eyes. With a bright pearl in front of him, he was destined to be a stubborn rock covered in dust. Chen Binji and Yao Huang looked slightly embarrassed, but Palace Master Jingyan still took him in as his disciple. To be able to pass the 8th floor, Xiaolingzi's alchemy skills were extraordinary. Moreover, he had an innate alchemy body. With the guidance of a master, he would definitely be able to reach a higher level. Many young alchemists came out of the alchemy tower one after another, but no one stepped onto the 8th floor. There were a total of 18 people who stepped onto the 7th floor, and all of them had outstanding talent in alchemy. These people were destined to become core disciples, and they were divided among the many grand elders and senior elders. The other disciples who could step into the 5th rank and concoct 4th tribulation holy pills all became inner sect disciples. Although they didn't have a master yet, they would all receive extremely good treatment. They would be divided among the various palaces, and if they performed well in the future, a master would invite them to come and claim them. Among them, Huoshensi was lucky enough to become an inner sect disciple. He also wanted to join the Wonder Palace, but unfortunately, he was heartlessly rejected by Qiao Yinyun. She said that the Wonder Palace only needed one man, and there was no room for a second. This dealt a heavy blow to Huoshensi. In the end, he could only join the Sunset Palace Master. Luo Xiangxiang also became an inner sect disciple. She joined the Grass Crossing Palace. Originally, she could have joined the Wonder Palace. The Luo family had a good relationship with Qiao Yinyun, but because of Yang Wu's existence, she would not go there. Just like that, the examination for the new batch of Medicine God Palace disciples ended. Some people were happy while others were sad. There were some who had been inner sect disciples during the sub-palace's assessment, but ended up as outer sect disciples here. There were also some who had been outer sect disciples, but ended up as inner sect disciples after coming here. The twist of fate was all about that. Yang Wu finally had a place to stay in the God Realm. Since coming to the God Realm from the transcendent world, he rarely had a peaceful time. Now that he had solidified his identity as a core disciple of the Wonder Palace, his heart was at ease. Nanshi gave him an alchemist robe and a token that sparkled with light. She said, "Congratulations, junior brother." "Thank you, senior sister," Yang Wu said with incomparable sincerity. She was the one who helped him get a spot in the Pill Furnace Mystic Realm. When he was in danger in the Mystic Realm, she did her best to help him. This was a great kindness. Yang Wu decided to pass on a portion of the Pill Furnace Mystic Realm's inheritance to Nanshi. Whether or not she could comprehend it would depend on her. When he expressed his intentions, Nanshi immediately rejected him. "That's your opportunity. How can I share it with you? Senior sister, if you didn't fight for a spot for me, I wouldn't have been able to obtain this opportunity. Passing on a portion to you is a matter of course. Otherwise, I would feel uneasy," Yang Wu said. Nanshi muttered, "If you really want to repay me, why don't you share it with Master? It was Master who asked me to find old Luo Manor Head to obtain a spot." Okay, I'll go find Master now, Yang Wu said without hesitation. Although the Pill Furnace Mystic Realm's inheritance was extraordinary, it didn't mean that it was enough for him to keep it a secret. His greatest gain was actually the mysterious meteor essence Qi. Even now, he still didn't know what kind of talent it brought him. Yang Wu didn't need to look for it. Qiao Yinyun would summon him. Even though he had stayed in the Temple of Wonder for some time, she still hadn't publicly announced it. She had to hold a ceremony and openly accept Yang Wu as her disciple. Other than Yang Wu, there were 3 other female disciples who had joined the Temple of Wonder. On this day, Qiao Yinyun ordered someone to host the ceremony. It could be considered that she had accepted Yang Wu and the other 3 female disciples. Only Yang Wu was her direct disciple. The other 3 disciples would be taught by the other elders of the Temple of Wonder. Since you've joined the Temple of Wonder, remember to contribute more to the Temple of Wonder. Only by contributing more will you receive more benefits. Don't expect to live a comfortable life after joining the Temple of Wonder. If you can't become a Moon-class disciple before the age of 100, you will be sent out. You won't be allowed to stay in the main temple, Qiao Yinyun declared. After that, an elder explained the rules of the Medicine God Temple and led them to arrange their accommodations. Yang Wu stayed behind to talk to Qiao Yinyun. This was the difference between the core disciples and the Temple of Wonder. They could speak to the Temple of Wonder at any time. I heard that you want to share the inheritance of the Pill Furnace Secret Realm with me. Quickly share it with me, Qiao Yinyun said impatiently. She didn't look like a teacher at all. Okay. Seeing that Qiao Yinyun wasn't reserved, Yang Wu didn't hesitate to share the inheritance of the Pill Furnace Secret Realm with her. The main inheritance of the Pill Furnace Secret Realm was the secret alchemy techniques and pill recipes. They were all integrated into the fire talismans. He had already imprinted them with the immortal moon mirror technique, so it wasn't difficult to pass them on. Qiao Yinyun didn't hesitate to remember all the inheritance that Yang Wu shared with her. She said with satisfaction, "You really know how to conduct yourself. No wonder Nan she could take you as her junior brother. It's not as simple as having great alchemy talent. Don't worry, I will pass this inheritance to Nan Shi." After a pause, she continued, "Moreover, I will take on this karma for you. Those who wanted to snatch this opportunity from you, I will teach them a lesson for you. I won't take advantage of you. I will also pass on some of my insights to you. Take it." A light flew out from between her eyebrows and flew towards Yang Wu's forehead. Yang Wu didn't even have the chance to react before the light entered between his eyebrows. A large amount of information instantly exploded in his divine court. This wasn't just some kind of alchemy inheritance, but Qiao Yinyun's lifetime of alchemy experience. This woman's heart was really big. She gave him so much inheritance all at once. Wasn't she afraid that he would explode from this power? "I know that you are not simple. You can hunt and kill top immortal realm cultivators and refine top divine pills. Your origin is also extraordinary. But since you have taken me as your master, I will not treat you unfairly. I don't expect you to be loyal to the Medicine God Temple, but I hope that you will not do anything harmful to the Medicine God Temple. Otherwise, I will personally take your life." Chapter 1684. Empty Space Temple. This was a mysterious temple hidden in the void. Since ancient times, not many people knew of its existence. Not many people knew where the temple was located. Di Xian returned to the temple and knelt on one knee in the middle of the starry sky. "Master, I have something to report. Why didn't you accompany the Celestial Emperor's daughter? Why did you come back so quickly? Don't tell me you came back because you couldn't subdue the Celestial Emperor's daughter?" said a shadow on the empty space temple. "No, I'm not that useless. She's just a woman. I don't care about her," said Di Xian coldly. "I found the Sun of Fortune of the human world. The Sun of Fortune that appears once in 1,000 years has appeared again?" The shadow on the throne seemed to be moved. Then, he said, Tell me in detail. Di Xian didn't dare to hide anything. He hurriedly told the Empty Space Emperor everything he had encountered. The Empty Space Emperor thought for a moment. You suspect that the two brothers are the sons of fortune? It should be his younger brother, Yang One. He has a strange aura. Even I don't have the confidence to kill him. Moreover, I can't feel where his limit is. It's like a bottomless pit. He can borrow the power of heaven and earth to fight at any time. Other than the Son of Fate, no one else has such an ability. His brother, Yang Wu, is just a cover to attract others, Di Xian said with certainty. All right, immediately send someone to find his whereabouts and bring him back to me. Yes, master. The Celestial Emperor's daughter was born extraordinary. She has an immortal root. If you can obtain her immortal root, you can surpass me and become an immortal. Yes, I will remember. In the Imperial Palace, Du Shaojing had already returned. She was in a bad mood. She was extremely unhappy. She directly went to find her father to talk about it. The Imperial Palace's Celestial Emperor couldn't escape even if he wanted to. Father, I won't allow you to hurt little Wuzi. Otherwise, I won't let you off, said Du Shaojing decisively. Who's little Wuzi? The kid from the Empty Space Temple? Asked the Celestial Emperor, playing dumb. Keep pretending, keep pretending. Don't think that I don't know. If anything happens to me, someone will report it to you. You are the Empress. How could a lower realm brat be worthy of you? Moreover, he might even be the child of destiny. How many old things have their eyes on him? He is destined to be a short-lived type. I don't care if he's the son of fate or not. Anyway, don't let the people around you monitor me in the future, and don't want my people to hurt him. On the contrary, I want you to protect him. I like him. Is this how you talk to your father? What else can I do? Who asked me to be your only daughter? If you have the ability, why don't you give birth to a bunch of daughters? In Luo Prefecture, news of Yang Wu and Yang Wen's identities spread. The people from the Yen Gate confirmed that Yang Wu came from the human world, and he might even be the child of destiny of the human world. The various forces in Luo province were shaken. The child of providence of the human world only appeared once every 1,000 years. Every time he appeared, he would be captured by some unknown force. There were very few children of providence of the human world that could survive. It was rumored that the Zhenwu Great Emperor was the son of providence in the human world. He broke through to the immortal realm, and to this day, his fate was unknown. His forces in the God realm had long been wiped out by his enemies. There was a legend in the God realm that whoever controlled the child of providence would be able to descend to the human world, seize its providence, and become its master. This was the fastest path to immortality, and also the best shortcut to eternal life. After gathering the providence of the human world to become an immortal and ascending to the immortal realm, one had a chance of breaking through the limits of the immortal realm. The old monsters of the God realm weren't the only ones looking for the child of providence. Even the immortals of the immortal realm were looking for the child of providence of the human world. They offered enormous rewards, and anyone who captured the child of providence would be ranked among the immortals. This news spread only after Yang Wu left. It wouldn't take long for the news to reach the Medicine God Hall. The other powers in the other prefectures also received the news. Among them, the Ji clan, who had the deepest relationship with the human world in recent years, was the most excited when they received the news. The Ji clan's divine son, Ji Ling, had been defeated in the human world's All Saints Temple. This matter had always been kept a secret, but there was no secret in the world that could be kept a secret. Ji Ling's spiritual divine body was one of the top divine bodies in the God realm. Even if his battle prowess was suppressed in the human world, he was still an invincible existence. Unfortunately, he was still beaten up by the other party. Even his spiritual deity body was almost devoured and killed by the other party. He was almost crippled. 3 years, a full 3 years. Ji Ling had finally recovered and broken through to the Jade Moon realm. His strength had advanced a step further. When he heard that Yang Wu had come to the God realm, he impatiently left seclusion. "I must avenge this humiliation!" Ji Ling roared at the sky. Ever since he'd started cultivating, he'd never lost to anyone of the same cultivation level. Yet, in the human world, he'd lost to someone of a lower cultivation level, humiliating him and his clan. This enmity had to be avenged. Ji Ling led a group of people to the Luo province, but he heard that Yang Wu had already gone to the Medicine God continent and might become a disciple of the Medicine God Hall. This news was like a bucket of cold water poured over him, extinguishing his impulsive arrogance. The upper echelons of the Ji clan called Ji Ling over to discuss a new strategy to deal with Yang Wu. A child of destiny and a disciple of the Medicine God Hall definitely couldn't be dealt with using ordinary methods. They had to use necessary methods. Heavenly Thunder Province, Purple Firmament Hall. Purple Firmament Hall's status in the Heavenly Thunder Province wasn't low. It was equivalent to the Luo Province's 9 divine sects, but it couldn't compare to the strongest Luo manor. Purple Firmament Hall had a close relationship with the human world, and they'd always been aware of the movements in the transcendent realm. When Yang Wu had gone to the God realm, they'd been paying close attention. However, they didn't know which province Yang Wu would descend to. Heavenly Thunder Province and Luo Province were very far apart, and they'd only recently received news that Yang Wu had arrived in Luo Province. Purple Firmament Hall was built in an area with dense lightning profound energy, and they'd occupied a cultivation paradise, turning it into their own sect's cultivation paradise. They'd been there for over 1,000,000 years, and were considered a veteran power. The reason why they'd never been able to become a powerhouse was because the profound formula they cultivated had a certain flaw, and it wasn't the most perfect cultivation method. After cultivating to the true God realm, it was difficult to advance. For countless years, they'd been unable to solve this problem. If they could solve this problem, they'd have a chance to become one of the strongest powers in the Heavenly Thunder Province. Unfortunately, the other powers in the Heavenly Thunder Province wouldn't let them succeed so easily. Unless they had a great opportunity and created a higher-level profound formula, or obtained a higher-level profound formula and changed to another profound formula. They'd tried countless methods, but in the end they'd all returned without success. However, in these few years they'd seen hope. They'd spent a large amount of resources to transfer a woman from the human world to the God realm, and discovered that she actually had a solution to the problem they'd been unable to solve for countless years. Divine Weapon, Lightning Hammer. It contained the Imperial Lightning Art. It could help them cultivate to the peak of the true God realm, and even see the immortal realm. It was a supreme divine weapon. When the true God realm experts of the Purple Firmament Palace thought that the divine weapon, Lightning Hammer, could solve all their problems, they discovered that the divine weapon, Lightning Hammer, had already recognized the young lady as its master. If they forcefully took it away, the divine weapon, Lightning Hammer, would automatically disintegrate, and they wouldn't be able to get anything. The Purple Firmament Palace's old palace master had no choice but to give up on this idea, and use the strategy of conciliation to make the young lady stay in the Purple Firmament Palace forever, and nurture her into the sect's strongest goddess. In the future, if necessary, he could even confer her the title of Palace Master. That way, she'd definitely do her best for the Purple Firmament Palace, and pass down the Imperial Lightning Art to help the Purple Firmament Palace become even stronger. This young lady was Zuu from the Transcendent Realm. Zuu came to the God Realm a long time ago. In the beginning, she was incomparably resistant, and wholeheartedly wanted to return to the Transcendent Realm to see Yang Wu. Unfortunately, every time the Great Void Array was activated, a large amount of resources had to be expended, and the Purple Firmament Palace wouldn't do that for her. Slowly, she accepted reality, and if she wanted to break free from her fate of being controlled by others, she had to constantly strive to become the strongest person in the Purple Firmament Palace, and only then could she have her own freedom. With this thought, she used the Purple Firmament Palace's resources to cultivate crazily, or entered the Purple Firmament Palace's Purple Firmament Lingyun Tower, to receive the cruelest training, and even ventured into the Heavenly Thunder region, the most dangerous place in the Heavenly Thunder region. Her strength increased by leaps and bounds, and she continuously broke through from the Star Rune Realm to the third-grade Jade Moon Realm. With such a breakthrough speed, it couldn't be said that she was comparable to a prince or princess, but she was comparable to a top-notch god's son or goddess. Zuu also made a name for herself as Violet Moon Fairy, and established herself in the Purple Firmament Palace. In the beginning, there were many disciples of the Purple Firmament Palace who looked down on this young lady from the lower realm, but now there were a large number of senior and junior brothers who wanted to pursue this Violet Moon Fairy. Among them, the son of the Purple Firmament Palace's palace master, Zi Xinghe, pursued her fiercely. Zi Xinghe was the Purple Firmament Palace's young palace master, and a powerful god's son. Everyone in the Purple Firmament Palace wanted to put them together, and the other senior and junior brothers were directly kicked out. After all, no matter how they looked at it, Zi Xinghe could crush them. Zi Xinghe was over 100 years old, and he was older than Zuu by a generation. Those who were over 100 years old were all gods' sons of the previous generation, but this age was still incomparably young in the god realm. He had cultivated long ago, and he still had the appearance of a youth. You accept my love. Only when we are together can we be a pair of immortals. Aside from me, no one else is worthy of you, a young man in purple said affectionately to a young lady with fluttering purple hair. The young lady with purple hair calmly looked at the young man in purple and said, "Senior brother Xinghe, I already told you that I already have a Dao companion, and I won't betray him. Please don't waste your efforts on me. I don't mind if you have a Dao companion in the human realm, but once you come to the god realm, you will be separated from the human realm, just like the difference between heaven and hell. Why do you have to be so stubborn? Aside from him, I can't fall in love with anyone else." The him you're talking about, is it this son of destiny? Chapter 1685. Medicine God Palace. The 5 Emperor-level divine palaces gathered the strongest and most powerful alchemists. Countless alchemists were proud to join the Medicine God Palace. Even though there were countless powerful alchemy powers in the boundless divine realm, there had never been a power that could be mentioned in the same breath as the Medicine God Temple. The Medicine God Palace had a long history and a complete orthodoxy. Even in the darkest times of the God realm, no one dared to make a move against the Medicine God Palace. It was enough to show how powerful the Medicine God Palace was. Yang Wu had joined the Medicine God Palace for a month. Other than showing his face in the outer courtyard's alchemy tower, he stayed in the Wonder Life Hall and never went out. During this time, he had been digesting his master Qiao Yenyun's inheritance. In addition, he used the yin and yang ring she gave him to refine a batch of divine pills in case of an emergency. Now that Little Man and Qi Jin were by his side, he had to help them become stronger. Yang Wu refined a divine-level medicinal liquid to stimulate Little Man's barbarian bloodline and further strengthen her physique. Her strength was pushed to the peak of the Sage realm. With the help of the immortal liquid, she entered the God realm in one go. At this point, Yang Wu felt more at ease with Little Man. Qi Jin didn't improve, but his demon body was tempered and became stronger. Following Yang Wu, he had already devoured the immortal liquid. The power of his bloodline improved and became more and more like a pure 3-legged golden crow. He had completely refined the divine Firebird bloodline. During this time, he often talked with his senior sister Nan Shi and discussed alchemy. Nan Shi finally broke through the bottleneck and refined a level 4 divine pill. She happily hugged Yang Wu and kissed him a few times. When she calmed down, she realized that she had lost her composure. Nan Shi shyly turned around and ran away, but she didn't run far before saying, "Junior brother, you should go to the main palace to take a look." As a core disciple, you should still enjoy the benefit. As a core disciple, Yang Wu could indeed enjoy some of the benefits of the Medicine God Palace, but he had yet to receive them. To him, those benefits were not important. What he wanted the most was to enter the alchemy pavilion of the Medicine God Palace and see what was so special about the alchemy pavilion that had been passed down for countless years. Moreover, he wanted to take the divine apothecary examination directly. That way, he would be able to recruit followers of the divine realm, travel outside, and enjoy the care of the various halls of the divine medicine hall. He had always been thinking about going to the heavenly Thunder Continent. Only with the identity of a divine apothecary and a stable position in the Medicine God Palace would he be able to do whatever he wanted in the divine realm. Master told me not to reveal my alchemy skills too early. Otherwise there will be trouble. Could it be that there is someone in the Medicine God Hall who wants to harm me? Yang Wu thought to himself. Speaking of this master, he was rather incompetent. He was practically the same as Master Haorin. Both of them were masters who didn't care about anything. After passing the legacy to him, he allowed him to cultivate on his own, not bothering with him at all. Fortunately, he was used to it and had no complaint. Let's go to the main hall of the Medicine God Palace first. Yang Wu decided to walk out of the Wonderful Life Hall and head to the main hall of the Medicine God Palace. As a core disciple, not only did he have an exclusive alchemist robe, he could also enter the alchemy pavilion 3 times and observe the ruins left behind by the previous true god alchemists. He could also enter the special training grounds of the Medicine God Palace's disciples. Yang Wu was most interested in looking at the alchemy recipes here. Other than that, he also wanted to observe the true god alchemist's alchemy grounds. He left the Wonderful Life Hall and Nan Shi appeared again. She took the initiative to bring him to the main hall and told him a few things to pay attention to. Since Yang Wu joined the Medicine God Palace, he didn't walk around much, afraid that he would make a mistake. On the way, many people who saw Nan Shi would affectionately call out, "Senior Sister Nan," or "Junior Sister Nan." She was quite popular in the Medicine God Palace. Those who passed by would look at Yang Wu with surprise, but they didn't pay too much attention to him. They already knew who Yang Wu was. He was a new core disciple who had just joined the Medicine God Palace, Wu Ho. His talent was astonishing. Even so, in their eyes, Yang Wu was still a newcomer. He wasn't worth them lowering their face to make friends with. Nan Shi brought Yang Wu to the main hall of the Medicine God Palace. This main hall was the most noble symbol of this place. It was one of the 5 main halls. It was magnificent and majestic, filled with the vicissitudes of time. No matter which forces peerless experts came here, they would be in awe. After all, an immortal alchemist had once appeared here, and this Medicine God Palace was the palace he left behind. Arriving here, Yang Wu felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. He felt like something was calling out to him. Just as they were about to enter, someone called out from behind them, "Junior Sister Nan, long time no see. You're getting more and more beautiful. When will you discuss alchemy with senior brother again?" This person's words were very frivolous. He was obviously teasing Nan Shi. Nan Shi didn't even turn her head. She pulled Yang Wu's hand and walked in. However, the person behind them didn't seem to want to let him go. He quickly caught up and said, "Senior Sister Nan has a new lover and forgot about your old one. This is too hurtful." This time, Nan Shi exploded. She shouted at the person who came, "Lu Luo, when can your mouth not be so smelly? I'm about to faint from your stench." Yang Wu cooperated and pinched his nose. "It's not just a normal stench. My stomach is churning." The person who came was the core disciple of the Grass Crossing Hall, Lu Luo. He came in at the same time as Nan Shi. His talent was about the same as Nan Shi's, but his perception wasn't as good as Nan Shi's. Unfortunately, Nan Shi had an unkind master who didn't know how to teach her disciples. This caused Nan Shi's cultivation to stagnate. Luo, on the other hand, was able to concoct a level 4 divine pill not long ago. His status rose a lot. Even though there was only one level difference between a level 3 divine pill and a level 4 divine pill, the difference in status was huge. This was why Luo dared to provoke Nanshi. When he was pursuing Nanshi, he was slapped in the face by Nanshi. His face turned green at that time. But now, he felt like he had turned over a new leaf. His courage grew as well. Other than Luo, there was also Xiaolingzi, Luo Xiangxiang and a few other new disciples beside him. Junior sister Nan, your mouth is still so sharp. Your new lover is the same. You don't even respect me, a high-ranking elder. Do you still care about the rules of the hall? Luo squinted his eyes at Nanshi and Yang Wu. Since when are the rules of the hall not allowed to cover your nose? Nanshi retorted. She then said, a good dog doesn't block the way. Don't think you're so great just because you're a high-ranking elder. You dare to look down on me? That's right, I'm looking down on you. If you have the ability, then punish me. Your master and my master are both hall masters. Who's afraid of who? In the end, will your master protect you or my master protect me? Don't ask for trouble here, Nanshi said aggressively. Luo was instantly speechless by Nanshi's retort. That's right. Comparatively speaking, the Wonder Hall master was more protective of her disciples. She wouldn't allow her disciples to be bullied. Otherwise, she would directly go to their door. The various palace masters were all people who were incomparably powerful in alchemy. Their battle prowess was only average among the true divinities. However, the temple master of the Wonderful Life Palace was the one who was the best at fighting aside from the first palace master. Ordinary people really wouldn't provoke her. Xiaolingzi couldn't stand it anymore. He opened his mouth and said, Senior sister. Without waiting for him to finish, Nanshi glared at Xiaolingzi with her hands on her hips and said, Who's your senior sister? Look at the badge I'm wearing, I'm an elder. Do you see it clearly? Don't try to claim that we're related, we don't know each other. Also, I advise you not to stick your neck out, it will cause you unnecessary trouble. You won't cause unnecessary trouble. After speaking, without waiting for them to react, she brought Yang Wu into the Medicine God Palace. Xiaolingzi was in a mess. He had always been the one to reprimand others. Here, he was the one being reprimanded. He really didn't know how to refute. It was really a case of a higher status. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame his senior brother for being too useless. This crazy woman. I'll get my hands on her sooner or later. Luo thought to himself. Senior brothers, don't lower yourself to her level. Only a shrew would be so unreasonable. Luo Xiangxiang tried to persuade them. It had to be said that Luo Xiangxiang's words gave them a way out. They recovered from their embarrassment. Let's go. Senior brother will bring you to familiarize you with the main palace. There are also some opportunities waiting for you. Don't let that brat take them away. Luo said. After entering the Medicine God Palace's main palace, it was a spatial palace like the Wonder Hall. However, the layout was different. This place was more like an ancient mountain range. There were countless herbs planted in the mountain range. There were even monsters and ferocious beasts guarding the place. Not just anyone could pick them. There were ancient palaces in the middle of the mountain range. They were the main palace's meeting room, the hall master's cultivation room, the alchemy pavilion, the alchemy field, the ruins. Once again, Yang Wu's horizons were broadened. These 9 palaces were all different from each other, and their decorations were completely different. He looked around, and actually saw volcanoes spewing out lava continuously in the depth. The crimson flames were constantly changing. Sometimes they looked like humans, and sometimes they looked like demons. It was extremely strange. He was sure that there was a divine flame nurtured there. Blue Demonis was hungry again. Nanshi pointed at the 33rd floor of the alchemy tower and said, That is where the alchemists from the inner sect and above are tested. If you want to test for the godly alchemist title in the future, you will start there. Not far from there is the ruins. It is a place that every disciple wants to go and observe. Maybe you can even get the inheritance of a true god-level alchemist. Those inheritances will only pick the one in 10,000 alchemists. My junior brother Xiao will definitely get the inheritance. Junior brother Xiao, do you have confidence? Lu Luo's voice sounded behind them again. Of course, Xiao Lingzi said calmly. After a pause, he looked at Yang Wu and said, Wu Ho, why don't we compete? Do you think you are worthy? Yang Wu looked at Xiao Lingzi with disdain. Xiao Lingzi was furious and said, Don't think that you are amazing just because you passed the 9th floor. I can make a 7 tribulation divine pill. In terms of alchemy talent, I can crush you. Don't think too highly of yourself. You are the one who thinks too highly of yourself. Otherwise, your face will be swollen. Chapter 1686. Yang Wu didn't want to lower himself to Xiao Lingzi's level. Even Lu Luo couldn't compare to him in terms of alchemy. Why would he compete with a Saint Realm alchemist? If he was more serious, he might be able to refine a 7 tribulation holy pill. It was just that he didn't have the intention. He and Nanshi went to the pill recipe pavilion to enjoy his benefit. Lu Luo and Xiao Lingzi didn't follow them. They went straight to the ruins. The alchemy pavilion was a place that collected alchemy recipes from all over the world. There was only one floor here, but there were many different alchemy recipes on this floor. As a core disciple, Yang Wu could enter the first 3 layers. He didn't have the qualifications to enter the last 3 layers. There were countless pill recipes here. There were normal, high level, and top level. There were too many to count. If one wanted to finish reading all the pill recipes here, it would take an unknown amount of time. Fortunately, the pill recipe pavilion was different from the others. People with alchemy could enter the pill recipe pavilion and absorb the pill recipes here. They didn't need to read them one by one. It depended on one's own ability. I've been here no less than 20 times. Aside from the first 3 times I came here for free, the other 17 times I came here cost me a large amount of contribution points. Furthermore, I've only resonated with the Tao of Alchemy twice and obtained several thousand pill recipe inheritances, Nanshi said proudly. A 1 in 10 chance of resonating was already very high among alchemists. There were not many people in the Medicine God Palace who could do this. Among her peers, she was the first one. The others had only done it once or even never. It wasn't that one could resonate with the pill recipe pavilion just by condensing alchemy. It still required luck. Those who didn't have the chance to resonate with the pill recipe pavilion could only look at pill recipes. It would take an unknown amount of time. All right, then I'll have to cherish this opportunity, Yang Wu said. Yang Wu had many pill recipes, but it didn't mean he wasn't interested in the pill recipes here. Every pill recipe had its own benefit. Whether it was a low-level pill recipe or a high-level pill recipe, it was all the same. One more pill recipe meant one more set of accumulations. When enough accumulations were accumulated, one could even create a new pill recipe. Yang Wu walked towards a futon and closed his eyes to comprehend the pill recipes here. He wanted to see if he could resonate with the Alchemy Formulae Pavilion. Nanshi originally wanted to stop Yang Wu, but after a moment of hesitation, she decided not to do so. She thought to herself, it's good to let him have some fun. She wasn't optimistic that Yang Wu would be able to touch the pill prescription pavilion's Tao on his first try. After all, since the establishment of the Alchemy Pavilion, there were very few prodigies who were able to activate the Alchemy Pavilion for the first time. And those prodigies who were able to activate the Alchemy Pavilion for the first time were all top-notch alchemists. She had still underestimated Yang Wu. When Yang Wu had been meditating for less than a quarter of an hour, the pill formula on the first level had reacted. The words in each recipe flew out and flew toward the Yang Wu Divine Court. Nanshi was instantly dumbfounded. The people on the first level of the alchemy pavilion were also dumbfounded. A phenomenon appeared on the first level of the alchemy pavilion. The guardian elder here was also alarmed. He muttered, "Is this the most outstanding disciple among the new batch of disciples this month? He just entered the alchemy pavilion and he already caused a phenomenon. Is his talent really that strong? This guy is incredible. I don't know how many times I've tried to comprehend the alchemy pavilion, but I've never gained anything. Why did he gain something the moment he came here? It doesn't make any sense." An old disciple sitting on a futon not far from Yang Wu sobbed in his heart. He had already spoken the thoughts of the others here. Yang Wu was completely meditating, and no one dared to disturb him. He peacefully accepted the pill recipes here. One of the Tao flowers in his divine court was constantly imprinting these pill recipes. He didn't waste a single pill recipe. He didn't expect to be able to meditate on the first try. He just focused on comprehending his own pill Tao. It contained the inheritance little He had passed on to him, as well as what he'd accumulated over the years. Naturally, it resonated with the alchemy pavilion. The fundamental reason for this was that he possessed an immortal root. The divine court Tao flower had long been nourished by the power of immortal qi, and had bloomed 49 petals. Each petal was imprinted with a different Tao. The immortal Tao was a Tao law that reigned above all other great Taos. It was very easy for him to merge it with low-level Taos. This was the difference between heaven-defying constitutions. This was also why people with immortal roots were sought out by all the imperial halls. When the pill recipes on the first level were swept away by Yang Wu, he slowly woke up. He saw Nanshi staring at him in shock. "Senior apprentice sister, what's wrong?" Nanshi snapped out of her daze and cursed. "Damn freak, how did you merge with the alchemy pavilion on your first try? How did you gain its approval?" "I just meditated and I felt it," Yang Wu replied honestly. "Tch, if you don't want to tell me, then forget it. Do you still want to go to the second level?" Nanshi rolled her eyes. "Let's go, everyone's here," Yang Wu replied. There were many pill recipes here, many of which he had never seen before. Some of them had very clever uses, and some of them were useful to foreign tribes. They were all great rewards for him. When he made his way to the second level, the people on the first level were in an uproar. Heaven-defying, heaven-defying. He gained the pill recipe's approval so easily. There's no justice in this world. Isn't that right? I've been here 7 times, and I haven't sensed a single thing. I'm about to give up. You can't compare yourself to him. Comparisons are odious. This guy is the king of new disciples. He's destined to rise to the top. Let's follow him. Let's see if he can trigger another phenomenon on the second level. The people on the first level all made their way to the second level. Many of the old attendants and disciples had the right to freely enter the first 3 levels. Even if they didn't have the right, they could enter as long as they paid some contribution points. After arriving on the second level, Yang Wu did the same thing and easily triggered the pill recipe's automatic selection. A large amount of information flowed into his divine court. There were a total of 100,000 pill recipes on the first 3 levels. On average, there were over 30,000 pill recipes on each level. With so many pill recipes gathered in one go, even a divine-grade powerhouse would feel dizzy. Yang Wu only stared for half a day before he easily absorbed all of the information. Moreover, he didn't show any signs of discomfort. Nanshi was completely stunned by Yang Wu's comprehension ability. The others were the same. Yang Wu's actions were simply inhumane. Yang Wu didn't want to waste any more time. He rushed straight to the 3rd level and absorbed all of the pill recipes on the 3rd level. Everyone on the 3rd level was stunned by Yang Wu's actions. They looked at Yang Wu as if he was a monster they had never seen before. It was hard to describe their feelings with words. Yang Wu didn't want to be looked at like this. Just as he was about to leave, an old man appeared in front of him and asked, "Do you still want to go to the 4th level?" Yang Wu looked at the old man and then at the true divinity rank alchemist badge hanging on his chest. He quickly bowed and said, "Greetings, sir. I am a new disciple, and can only enter the first 3 layers of space. I won't go beyond that." Most of the pill recipes on the first 3 levels were sage level and below. There were only a few god level pill recipes. Clearly, they were all for sage level alchemists. The 4th level was only open to god level alchemists. "If I let you in, you can enter. If you don't want to, I won't force you," the old man said seriously. "Then let's go in," Yang Wu said without hesitation. This was a rare opportunity. Naturally, he wouldn't let it go. Thus, Yang Wu followed the old man into the 4th level. This caused an uproar in the pill prescription pavilion. The guardian elder actually opened the back door for him. This is too biased. If you cause a phenomenon on the 3rd level, the guardian elder will probably open the back door for you too. This is too shocking. He's going to break our medicine god hall's record. I have to go back and tell the other apprentice brothers. When they see this guy in the future, they have to be more respectful. He's junior apprentice brother Wu from Wonder Life Hall, right? When he comes out, I'll definitely cut off his head and become sworn brothers with him. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Why would he become sworn brothers with you? You're even disdainful of being his follower. These alchemists chattered for a while, and then withdrew from the alchemy pavilion. Some of them spread the news, and some of them continued to wait outside. They wanted to see if Yang Wu could still cause a phenomenon in the 4th level. In the 4th level, Yang Wu still swept through all the pill recipes here. He was like a bottomless pit, accepting all the pill recipes that came his way. As he accumulated these pill recipes, his Tao of alchemy became even more profound and perfect, which was of great benefit to him when it came to alchemy. The guardian elder's name was Dan Qi. Others called him Elder Dan. He was a senior in the medicine god hall. When Yang Wu absorbed the pill recipes on the 4th level, he came to Yang Wu and asked, "These pill recipes are perfecting your alchemy skills. It proves that your alchemy skills are more advanced than other alchemists. I'm afraid it's not the divine pill Tao, but the immortal pill Tao, right?" Yang Wu raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "Sir, I don't know anything about the immortal pill Tao. I only feel that the aura here is extremely compatible. Every time I sit down, I can hear the pill recipes being chanted. The divine court has recorded all of them. Haha, the Tao of compatibility is the true supreme alchemy. You're very good. You don't need to worry that I'll harm you. From you, I see the possibility of achieving the immortal pill Tao in the future. Today, I'll open all the pill recipes here to you and help your alchemy skills reach a higher level. Don't disappoint this old man." The elder laughed wildly. How can this do? I'll get you into trouble and be punished. In the divine palace, there hasn't been anyone who can punish me. You can condense your alchemy skills to your heart's content. Thank you, sir. I won't let you down. Chapter 1687. On this day, a strange phenomenon appeared in the alchemy pavilion. Countless alchemy recipes converged toward one spot at the same time. It was as if countless alchemists were chanting. Pills appeared one after another, forming thousands of starlights. A thick medicinal fragrance wafted through the air. All the herbs growing on the divine medicine mountain were full of vitality. They were growing much faster than before. Those old alchemists all came out of their seclusion to see what was going on. Who is it who caused the alchemy pavilion to resonate and cause such a huge commotion? Strange phenomenon, the alchemy pavilion has recognized its owner. It's a sign of great success. Alchemy in one cauldron, maybe one can create a peerless alchemy recipe. Let's go and see. Could it be that one of the palace masters has done such a great feat? Many old alchemists rushed towards the alchemy pavilion. In the ruins, Xiao Lingzi, Luo Xiangxiang and the others who had returned empty-handed walked out with their heads down. Senior brother Lu, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We got nothing, Xiao Lingzi said guiltily. Don't be discouraged. Just because you didn't get it this time doesn't mean you won't get it next time. Lu Luo couldn't help but comfort them after seeing them walk out. He sneered in his heart. If the inheritance of the ruins is so easy to comprehend, you won't have the chance to pick it up. Look, what's going on over there? Someone shouted out. Therefore, everyone looked towards the alchemy pavilion and their faces were filled with surprise. Lu Luo exclaimed, "The alchemy pavilion has chosen its owner. Who could be so powerful to cause such a huge commotion? Normally, the alchemy recipes wouldn't cause such a huge commotion. Could it be the situation of the 5th or 6th level? Can we go and see?" Luo Xiangxiang asked. "We must go and see who is so powerful to cause such a huge commotion. I'm afraid his alchemy is about to be perfected." Lu Luo replied and quickly rushed towards that direction. The others also quickly followed. In front of the alchemy pavilion, there were a few people who knew what was going on. Their eyes were filled with admiration and respect. What kind of talent could make so many alchemy recipes choose their owner on the same day? Innate alchemy body? Medicine boy body? Alchemy god body? Or was it a body that was above all of these? Monster, junior brother must be a monster. Could it be that he's the reincarnation of the old alchemist god? Nanshi murmured as she looked at the strange phenomenon in the pill recipe pavilion. At this moment, a voice rang out, "Why aren't you all meditating? What are you waiting for?" This sound struck their hearts, and they hurriedly sat down cross-legged to comprehend the pill formula here. There were countless pill formulas being chanted here. How much they could reap would depend on their own abilities. It was like a pile of money suddenly appearing on the ground. It depended on who could pick up as much as they could. Otherwise, it would be gone in a while. Such a phenomenon continued for 3 days and 3 nights. The figures of the various halls were all alarmed and came out of seclusion one after another to rush over. Other than the hall masters who were away, all the other hall masters had come. They did not interfere with the strange phenomenon. Like the others, they were comprehending the mysteries of this place. They did not lack pill formulas. What they lacked was a complete pill Tao. Their hearts were similarly filled with dense doubts. Just who was it that had perfected the Tao of alchemy a step faster than them? Could it be the first palace master? The strange phenomenon gradually disappeared, and calmness was restored. Everyone was still in a state of comprehension and did not come back to their senses for a long time. Inside the pill formula pavilion, Pill Elder looked at Yang Wu, who was sitting cross-legged. His old face hung an extremely shocked expression as he said, This is the command medallion bestowed by Master Shenong?" After his voice fell, a figure quietly appeared. It was Shenong's appearance. That Pill Elder immediately knelt down and said loudly, "Greetings, Master Shenong. Greetings, Master Shenong." Aside from what he saw, no one else could see anything. Shenong's shadow looked at Pill Elder in surprise and said, "Huh? You're the spirit transformation divine pill I left behind back then?" "Yes, Master. Many thanks for Master's grace of rebirth," Pill Elder said gratefully. "No need to thank me. I accidentally made you. You've also helped me protect this foundation for several epochs. It's been hard on you," Shenong said kindly. Then he looked at Yang Wu and said, "This is one of my disciples in name. It seems he passed the test and perfected the Tao of alchemy. That's why this venerable immortal's will was awakened. Not bad, not bad." This is Master's disciple?" Pill Elder said in shock. "You can say that." Shenong smiled faintly. In the next moment, he walked around the pill formula pavilion and then walked out. In an instant, all the alchemists were stunned. It's Hall Lord Shenong. He has returned? It's him. Like the statue, he greets Hall Lord Shenong. So it's the ancestor who has returned. Ancestor, please bless our medicine god hall. Greetings, ancestor. Please bless our medicine god hall. The hall lords and grand elders all knelt down. The others did not dare to stand and knelt down one after another. They could not believe Shenong's sudden arrival. This was their founding ancestor, the ancestor of alchemists. He was revered by all alchemists. Ever since Shenong ascended and became an immortal, the number of times he appeared became less and less. He had not appeared for nearly 10,000 years. But today he appeared. Something big must have happened. No need for formalities. I'm just going to take a look. Shenong chuckled. He really was just going to take a look. He did not do anything else. The others did not dare to speak rashly. Even the most senior person here did not have such qualifications. Pill Elder walked out of the Pill Formula Pavilion. He bowed and said, "Master, it's rare for you to come back. Please give them a little gift." When these words fell into everyone's ears, they were all quite shocked. This Pill Elder called Shenong Master? Wasn't his background a little too big? Even the hall lords here did not know this secret. Looking at the medicine god hall that is flourishing day by day, I am happy, but I also see some situations where the good and the bad are mixed together. The Tao of alchemy needs to be more open. Only by competing together and growing together can we open up a new situation. If we always follow the tune that I leave behind, how can we condense a new Tao of alchemy? Shino sighed and stepped into the alchemy pavilion, disappearing. He did not leave any gift. He only left behind a thought-provoking sentence. It was enough for the upper echelons of the medicine god hall to speculate. Yang Wu woke up and looked at Shenong, who appeared in front of him. He bowed and said, "Greetings, Lord. No need for formalities. Your perfect Tao of alchemy is not the limit. Only by creating a new Tao of alchemy can you surpass me, surpass the prehistoric guy. The next time I see you, I hope you can do this. Then, I will pass on my life's knowledge to you." After saying this, Shenong disappeared. The token fell into Yang Wu's hand. He held it and murmured, "I will work hard." After obtaining these countless prescriptions, he understood a principle. Prescriptions were concocted by people, and the concoction of herbs would produce different effects. Perhaps he could improve these prescriptions, upgrade them, or even create prescriptions that were more convenient to concoct. Only by creating a precedent would he be able to surpass his predecessors. Pill Elder appeared in front of Yang Wu again. A kind smile hung on his old face as he said, "So you are Master's disciple. Then, from now on, you are my young master. If there is anything you need this old servant to do in the future, just ask." After a pause, he said, "That's right, you might as well move to the main hall. This old servant will be your protector." Yang Wu hurriedly waved his hand and said, "I can't accept this. Young master need not be nervous. You can become master's disciple. This is a great blessing. I can follow young master. This is also my blessing. I ask young master not to refuse." Pill Elder said solemnly, "But if this is the case, how will I explain it to the temple? You are the guardian elder here. What explanation? I don't need one. I am guarding here because I want to stay here. I don't want to care about the disputes of the world. Besides, there are many people who want to eat me. After so many years, I am not much different from the human race. Even if I go out, no one will discover my true body. Moreover, I have the ability to protect myself. There is no need to worry. How about this, you stay in the Medicine God Palace. If there is anything, I will come find you. If you go out with me now, it will be too difficult for me to cultivate in peace." "That's fine. As long as you are in the Medicine God Mountain, you can call me anytime. Once you are out of the Medicine God Mountain, I will not care about you. However, I will arrange for other guards to protect you. I cannot let you die early." "Okay, let's do that," Yang Wu replied. After a pause, he said, "I will go out." "And let's go," Pill Elder replied. Just like that, Yang Wu swaggered out of the alchemy pavilion. When he reached the outside of the pavilion, he was stunned. So many people, what are they doing? He had caused a shocking phenomenon, but he was not aware of it. He had been immersed in the process of digesting the Dan recipes. He did not know what was happening outside. Junior brother, you have gained the recognition of all the Dan recipes and obtained all the Dan recipes? She could not help but ask. Some of the alchemists who had seen Yang Wu cause the phenomenon also wanted to ask the same question. They wanted to know if it was Yang Wu who did it. Without waiting for Yang Wu to answer, Lu Luo, who was in the crowd, could not help but mock. Haha, it is important to know one's own identity. Who is he? It is his first time in the alchemy pavilion. How could he have gained the recognition of all the Dan recipes? Even if he had gained the recognition of the Dan recipes on the first floor, I would have twisted my head off and used it as a urinal for him. Suddenly, many people turned to look at Lu Luo. Their eyes were filled with a strange look. Another person agreed, that's right. What ability does he have to do this? That was just a phenomenon caused by Master Shinnong. The person who agreed was Yuan Yi, who had been taught a lesson by Yang Wu. What if he did it? Someone could not help but ask. Then I will do the same as senior brother Lu. I will twist my head off and use it as a urinal for him. Yuan Yi replied loudly. If you use your head as a urinal, you will scare me until I become impotent. Forget it. Yang Wu shrugged. Right? You only know how to act mysterious. Yuan Yi mocked. Wait until I twist your head off. Then I will tell you whether or not my young master is acting mysterious. Chapter 1688. Poof. Before anyone could react, Yuan Yi's head was removed from his body. A headless body fell into a pool of blood. Yuan Yi's head was grabbed by someone. He didn't know what was going on. Ah! Someone screamed and jumped away in fright. In an instant, only Lu Luo was left beside Yuan Yi. He couldn't run away. The others all ran away. Young master, do you want this urinal? Dan Lao carried Yuan Yi's head to Yang Wu. Take it away. It's disgusting. Yang Wu said with disdain. At this time, Yuan Yi's head screamed in pain. Ah, let go of my head. Let go of my head. What are you screaming for? You're an eyesore. Go find your senior brother. Dan Lao said and threw Yuan Yi's head at Lu Luo. Lu Luo couldn't move at all. Yuan Yi's face collided with his, scaring him to tears. Hall Master Jing Yin said in a low voice, Dan Lao, why are you arguing with a junior? These two were both disciples of his palace, and Lu Luo was even his direct disciple. What Dan Lao did was no different from slapping his face. Master said that our medicine god palace has a mix of good and bad people. We're all villains who can't stand others doing well. Dan Lao ignored Jing Yin and said in a clear voice. He then said, the phenomenon in the alchemy pavilion was caused by my young master comprehending all the recipes. Do any of you still doubt my words? His voice was so loud that even the apathetic could hear it. Everyone present revealed looks of shock. The phenomenon in the alchemy pavilion was caused by Yang Wu? Dan Lao called him young master? What the hell is going on here? Dan Lao, there's no need to argue with them. I'll go back first. Yang Wu looked at Dan Lao and said. He then bowed to the hall master and great elder and wanted to leave. He didn't want to be surrounded by people like a monkey. Unfortunately, Xiao Yinyun wouldn't let him slip away so easily. Her tall figure landed in front of him and said with a smile, Good disciple. Truly good. As expected of a disciple taught by your master. She patted Yang Wu's shoulder as if she was proud of Yang Wu, but in fact, she seemed to be announcing to everyone that Yang Wu was taught by her. Yang Wu cursed in his heart, Good master, this doesn't seem to have much to do with you. The other palace masters and grand elders all knew that Xiao Yinyun was blowing her own trumpet, so they didn't bother with her over this trivial matter. The palace master of the All-Life Palace said, you all can disperse first. The elders, deacons, and disciples didn't dare to stay any longer and left one after another. Soon, news of Yang Wu's deeds spread to every corner of the Medicine God Hall. Among them, Xiaolingzi and Luo Xiangxiang were very lucky that they didn't say anything just now. Otherwise, they would have ended up like Yuan Yi. Why is it him? Why is it him? Xiaolingzi shouted in his heart in a very bad mood. Luo Xiangxiang was even more terrified. She had always wanted to take revenge on Yang Wu, but who would have thought that Yang Wu would gain a foothold in the Medicine God Hall so quickly, making it difficult for her to look up to him. If she didn't know her own strength, she would be digging her own grave. After this matter, Luo Xiangxiang finally settled down and didn't dare to have any other thoughts. When everyone left, only a few palace masters and a few grand elders remained. They all wanted to know what had happened to Yang Wu. Why did Pill Elder, who had always been guarding the alchemy pavilion, recognize him as his master? They didn't have such qualifications, so how could Yang Wu do this? Before they could speak, Pill Elder spoke first. He is the disciple of my master, Shenong. The phenomenon in the alchemy pavilion was also caused by him. In the future, he will be my young master. Don't make things difficult for him. If you have any good resources, give him more support. He won't let you down. All the palace masters and grand elders were dumbfounded. Especially Qiao Yinyun. She had accepted Yang Wu as her disciple, and now it was revealed that Yang Wu was Shenong's disciple. What was going on? Could it be that she dared to fight over a disciple with Shenong? Yang Wu also didn't expect Pill Elder to announce his identity on the spot. He wanted to stop it, but it was too late. He quickly said, "This disciple just happened to receive some of Lord Shenong's inheritance and was accepted as his disciple." Just a disciple in name? They were about to be struck by lightning by Yang Wu's words. They also wanted to become Shenong's disciple in name. They didn't care if it was just a disciple in name or not. After a while, Qiao Yinyun revealed a shy expression and said, "Wu Ho, from now on, I am your junior sister. Remember to recommend me to master in the future." Her moral integrity had fallen to the ground. All Life Palace Master lightly coughed and said, "Don't speak nonsense. This is disrespectful to the old ancestor. This matter is too big. I think we should quickly summon the head palace master back." "That's right. It came too suddenly. I can't accept it. We'll wait for the head palace master to come back and deal with it." All Life Palace Master also said. Sunset Palace Master said, "Since he has received Pill Elder's approval, there shouldn't be any problems with his identity. As for the arrangements, we'll have to wait for the head palace master to come back and make a decision." A grand elder asked, "Where did you come from?" At this point, Yang Wu didn't plan on hiding it anymore. He said, "I came from the human realm. My real name is Yang Wu. I received some superficial inheritance from Lord Shenong, but I really can't show it." "You're already a fifth tribulation divine alchemist at such a young age. You can't show it?" Qiao Yinyun rolled her eyes. "What? He's a fifth tribulation divine alchemist?" Jing Yin cried out. He then said, "That's not possible. How old is he? I personally tested him. Could it be wrong?" Qiao Yinyun asked back. "Junior sister Qiao, you can't joke about this," All Life Palace Master said. "If you don't believe me, you can test this guy. He's hidden his strength very deeply." Qiao Yinyun replied, "All right, we'll immediately ask the head palace master to come back." All Life Palace Master couldn't make a decision and gave his own opinion. The others didn't have any objections. They all rushed into the assembly hall and asked the head palace master to appear. Yang Wu was also brought to the assembly hall. "With this old servant here, young master can rest assured," Pill Elder said to Yang Wu. "I hope so." Yang Wu sighed. His identity had been completely exposed. He could only resign himself to fate. After so many years of experience, he knew the pros and cons of exposing his identity. If Shenong hadn't appeared and Pil Elder hadn't stood on his side, he wouldn't have exposed himself even if he was beaten to death. At the same time, he also wanted to know if the Medicine God Hall was his ideal residence. Apart from being a little spacious, there wasn't anything special about the assembly hall. All the palace masters and grand elders prayed loudly towards the main hall, asking for head palace master Yiji's clone to descend. The head palace master was one of the most outstanding alchemists in the god realm. For many years, he had been searching for a higher realm. The hall master had delegated all the important matters to the palace masters present, so he was more at ease. He would only occasionally return to check on things. Not long after, a figure descended on the main hall and said, "There's no need for you to call me. I've already returned. I also saw Ancestor Shenong. Unfortunately, the ancestor didn't like me and didn't talk much with me. It's too sad." The head palace master looked like an ordinary old man. He didn't have the spirit of the Medicine God Hall's head palace master at all. "Didn't Master tell you not to always follow the tune he set? Don't be old-fashioned. He told you to be a bit more open-minded," Pil Elder directly said to the first palace master. "Pil Elder, it's not like you don't know that I recruit disciples from all over the god realm. Isn't that open-minded? Every year, a wave of spies comes out. It's too difficult for me to destroy the orthodoxy of the Medicine God Hall." The head palace master replied. "Whether it's difficult or not, it's what you should do," Pil Elder replied. He then pointed at Yang Wu and said, "This is Master Shenong's disciple, Yang Wu. Do you recognize him or not?" Pil Elder got straight to the point. The other palace masters didn't have the same courage as him. The head palace master flew down and stopped in front of Yang Wu. He stared at him, causing him to feel uncomfortable. It was as if he was naked in front of the head palace master and was being stared at without restraint. It was too uncomfortable. Similar, really similar. But why do I feel like it's not him? The head palace master muttered to himself. "Like what?" Qiao Yinyan asked. "Like an ancient great emperor," the head palace master replied. Everyone was visibly moved. Yang Wu hurriedly replied, "Doesn't look like him, doesn't look like him at all. Don't make wild guesses. Hee, it seems like you know a bit about the situation. You must be the child of destiny from the human realm, right?" "Oh no, you should be called the child of destiny," the head palace master laughed. Yang Wu replied, "I am indeed from the human realm. You are in danger right now. There will be many people coming to find trouble with you. For you to be able to come to the Medicine God Hall first, it seems like you know that only the Medicine God Hall can protect you. You are quite smart. No wonder the old ancestor chose you and the world spirit of your human realm. Enough nonsense. Do you recognize him as Master's disciple or not?" Pil Elder interrupted the head palace master. "Of course I do. How can I not? My Medicine God Hall will nurture a disciple chosen by the old ancestor with all our might. We will help you become the future Medicine Emperor." The head palace master made the final decision. "Head palace master, isn't this too hasty?" Jing Yan asked. The Sunset Palace master also said, "That's right. It won't be too much of a problem if it's just a will. Young master, take out the token that master gave you and show it to them," Pil Elder said to Yang Wu. Yang Wu did as he was told and took out a token. This was the token that Shenong gave him when he was in the Medicine God Hall in the Transcendental World. It allowed him to freely enter and exit the inheritance space. It was also a symbol of his identity. It is indeed a disciple's inheritance token. The head palace master sighed. Then, he bowed slightly and saluted the token. The other palace masters and grand elders did not dare to be negligent. They all saluted. This time, they had nothing to say. Yang Wu had established his unique position in the Medicine God Hall.